This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Sierra 117. And you're watching Xbox Ultimate. Now, finish the fight. Chief out.
Container, but they don't bring you something for that good restaurant ranch.
Yep.
Hi, everybody.
I'm like, I need to take this.
We're live.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah.
Every time I'm in a Chipotle, or not every time, every once in a blue moon, I'll steal the smoked Chipotle sauce just to feel alive.
We're not.
Really?
Just to feel alive.
Oh shit, we are live.
We're live and we're talking food.
That's okay.
Amazing.
That's stealing too.
Well,
it's where it's headed anyway, right? I mean,
Caitlin is muff diving, so that's good.
Joe's eating his ice cream.
Literally, my wife.
Joe's eating his ice cream with his special spoon.
She had just said that if I'm ever on a dating site, this is what I'm going to put. I'm like, dating site? Why would you be on a dating site?
I'm just saying, like, you know how people put like they like long walks on the beach? I'm going to say I just like browsing Zillow.
Have you been watching any of that true crime stuff lately?
True crime.
Yeah, just
I love those things.
Oh yeah, Matt, you might want to.
I like the show How to Kill Your Husband.
Yeah.
What?
Mav, these are some things called red flags.
Okay. Anyway, hi everybody. This is Xbox Ultimate Podcast. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you all being here. If you tuned into the little pre-show thing I did earlier, I appreciate that as well. But this is episode 76. Yeah, 76 episodes of this thing now. It's crazy. We're gonna have a lot of fun because we got not just one, but there will be a second guest showing up here as well, and we got a lot to talk about. I mean, no, it's still wrapping in our minds about the possibilities of all this craziness and the insanity of everything that's been going on in the gaming industry this last month, and just so much. So we're gonna have a blast talking about all this stuff. Before we get to the panel, I want to say hello to Mr. Joe, Mr. Badbit, our guest today, one of our two guests. How's it going?
What up? What up? Literally before we started the show, the trophy room merch came in. It's backwards, but this is the Elden Ring merch. Look at this.
Yes,
look at
dude,
this.
I love it.
Elden Ring themed.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited.
It almost has a little bit of Lord of the Rings vibe to it as well, kind of.
Yeah, it really does. It's got a little token going on.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Horizon shirt that's coming in, and what else? And the Bloodborne one. But you know what I didn't like? These shirts a little tight. That made me a little sad.
Aw.
You know?
It looks good on you.
It does, but I don't like slim fit stuff.
Yeah.
Like, give me loose. I want to be comfortable, you know?
Yeah. You don't like it tight?
No, man. I like it loose.
Okay.
That's why I like Pong so much.
Joe's in skinny jeans down below.
Yeah.
I guarantee
Easy. Yeah. Skinny jeans
if I'm not wearing sweatpants, it's like, be alarmed. That's all I gotta say.
Be alarmed.
Be alarmed.
Hey.
Hey.
First in my heart, lovely wife Caitlin. What's up, baby? How's it going?
Not much. So when you were having your before show stream,
Yeah.
I realized like I never have asked this question, and I don't know how I haven't picked it up.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what an IP stands for.
Intellectual property.
Intellectual
property.
Like a brand.
New ones are
right?
good.
Like Lord of the Rings is an IP, right? Indiana Jones is an IP. Halo is an IP. Fable is an IP.
Disney owns the Marvel IP, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I thought it meant independent project.
Oh
no,
well, I wouldn't be bad either, but no.
Yeah, that could be a good take.
Not a bad guess, actually.
So there's a little bit of like So when you say new IP, like does Indiana Jones count as a new IP? Like because Xbox is making, so it's like it hasn't been. The game will, right? But it's not a new IP at the same time. So that's where things get a little like sticky with like verbiage.
I just meant what the actual word means.
Yeah, intellectual property.
Okay. Cool.
It also is an internet protocol. Is that right? Is that what it means?
Don't confuse me.
Okay.
Just stick with one idea. Man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, the extraordinary assassin Lupa has made its way, her way.
Made its? Wow. Wow.
Made her way.
Tonight, everybody.
Back to the show. We missed you so much, Lupa. I'm so glad you are here. And welcome back.
We don't know what you are anymore, Lupa. Sorry.
Oh my God.
I apologize. Sorry.
He identifies as they and them.
Yeah. What's up, Lupa? How are you doing?
Oh, guess what? It's Friday. It's Xbox Ultimate. Math's going down. Let's have some fun, people, and let's go.
Let's go. Thank you, miss. I appreciate that. Hey, Jasper the realist, Debbie Downer, as Pong likes to call him. He's also known as being a lore master. Is here. What's up, Jasper? How's it going, dude?
It's going pretty good. It's Friday. We got Xbox Ultimate, and we're going to talk about the Blizzard survival game or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that, and who knows what else, because I didn't prepare anything. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. Hey, then we got the mellow fellow from outer space, who's lost in his phone, it looks like right now. What's up, Psychonauts? How's it going, dude?
This is gonna be insane, bro. No,
It's gonna be insane.
I'm texting 3-Bit right now, asking where the fuck he is, and
Love it.
he's not coming tonight apparently. So
shocking.
Yeah, we know Lady couldn't be here. She got stuff going on, but 3-Bit, come on.
At least Lady checks in.
Yeah,
at least Lady
giving him
know.
shit. I'm giving him shit.
No, didn't he just say he's making his grand entrance?
Yeah.
And the
Look,
first
he's been promising
first
that
night.
for 3 months. Come on.
So I'm just saying, 3-Bit. I miss your face, and I just want to give it a little touch.
Yeah, I'm gonna read his last DM he sent to me on Friday. Hey, bud, sorry I couldn't make it to today's show. I'll be on next show! ! I said nope. I said no prob.
Oh, I thought you said nope.
Nope. That would have been a better answer.
Nope.
And I'm looking at this blank space down below. We have these 2 blank little areas down below. These ugly little gray squares on our display. It'd be nice.
Could have been him.
3-Bit's gorgeousness could be filling up one of those, right?
Honestly,
we will have PTK's awesomeness here in a little bit. So, but hey, guys, we got a lot to talk about. 3-Bit or no 3-Bit, the show must still go on. Now, Blizzard. We'll start with Blizzard.
You're not gonna get me?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I was in John, but it's all right,
bro. That's fine, man.
Hey,
don't worry about it.
Did I not? I'm sorry. I figured that you don't
cool.
need an intro because your outro is so damn long.
Oh, is that what it is?
No.
Excuse?
Okay, no, Pong. I'm sorry. Hey, I scratch that, everybody. Hey, the encyclopedia of gaming, dating back to the very first game ever created, the worst half of living split screen, but the better half of PM and the PM, the one and only Pong Soul. How's it going?
Look, chat. I apologize for our host this evening.
Yeah.
It seems to be malfunctioning on many levels, so I apologize on his behalf. Look, first of all, shout out Spooky Sprocket, brother. Great to see you in there. Awesome to see you. God damn, it's been a long time, man. Love you.
Yeah.
Glad you're here with us. So first of all, shout out to him, but shout out to the entire chat, everybody coming out and seeing Xbox Ultimate Friday night. We do have a lot to talk about. This Blizzard thing just is the going to be the gift that keeps on giving and giving and giving and giving. So not only are we going to talk about Blizzard's new survival game that they announced, but man, Jez on Xbox 2 today said he knows of another Blizzard game that is being worked on that he's not going to talk about because he doesn't want to give up, get any of his sources in trouble. But he knows of another new IP.
A new IP.
So,
okay.
yeah,
It's
a new IP.
We should have talked before I did my little pre-show thing here earlier. Can add that to the list.
Yeah. So he wouldn't say anything on it. He's like, I got sources in there, but he goes, this is not what I know about. He's like, this was not the one that I know about. So there is another one.
Wow. So who said that again?
Jez on Xbox 2 today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So another intellectual property?
Yes. Very good. Very
Yes.
good, Caitlin. Thank you, bro.
Nailed
Appreciate you.
No problem, bro.
Oh.
All right. So speaking of the one that we did hear about, now I gotta say this first, right? When this whole Activision Blizzard thing is put down, like Blizzard itself is just kind of put down as a name on a lot of like sheets and stuff and a lot of graphics. Like Blizzard. It's like, cool, we got Blizzard, right? But then like Psycho shared something with me, and we already kind of alluded to this before, that like Blizzard's massive, right? Blizzard is insanely huge. And you had shared this like pie chart of like the size of like the employees. And it's like Blizzard dwarfs like everything pretty much as far as the amount of employees for the studio. And because it's made up of like 9 studios, which is more than pretty much all of Bethesda's ZeniMax Xbox Game Studios put together up to this point, just in Blizzard's name, right?
Yeah.
So all of that is coming along, and we already knew that they were working on Overwatch 2. We already know Diablo 4. They got Hearthstone and stuff. They're still doing that stuff. Everything. The World of Warcraft. All these things. But just yesterday or 2 days ago, we got a new game announcement that they're working on a new project. They didn't say the name yet. It is a new survival game. Jason Schreier went on Twitter to say that he has heard great things from the developers, that they are extremely excited about this project, and there's a lot of positivity about it. And anything that Blizzard's worked on in the past, any of these things that they've created, every IP that they've generated has been massive, right? Overwatch is huge. Hearthstone's huge. Warcraft is huge. So, let's see. What do we have reason to be excited about this new IP, Joe? And maybe, I guess, another 2 new IPs already in the works from Blizzard?
Kinda. Blizzard has so just to let everybody know, if I was a fanboy of anything back in the day, it was of Blizzard. Blizzard used to be my favorite developer just ever. They could do no wrong for me. Ever since Warcraft, I think 2. I've been a fan and a big WoW fan as well. And it's been sad over the years to see how much of their talent has left. And now we could kind of see why the talent has been leaving. And that really sucks. The one thing that I think hurt real bad last year was, God, I think his name's Dave Kaplan, right? If I'm not, someone will correct me in the chat.
Yeah, the Overwatch dude.
But yeah, the Overwatch creative director, he was a huge influence once, all the legacy guys left that studio. And with him leaving, there was a big question mark about where does this studio go from here? And it seems like ever since that story, and really more back, Blizzard's been on the decline. Like, Overwatch is struggling. It's just, I think, Jez actually said it really great. It's like, this is one of the greatest mismanaging of an IP that they've seen in recent years. Like, it's bad. Like, the one game out of the deal that I actually think needs crossplay the most is probably Overwatch, because man, oh man, or needs to be on other platforms other than Xbox is Overwatch, because that community is just up and left. And so I want to be excited for this project. I'm happy that, the rumblings are that everybody's excited about this, because this could mean really, like, if everybody's excited about this means they can, work passionately on it. It's just, it is just hard with everything that has happened to be excited, and knowing, stuff from inside and out. It's hard to get excited about this. I remember, back in September, I have one of my buddies who works there, and when I was just like, man, I don't know if I can support Blizzard anymore, and they just literally like because like the whole stuff, he's just like, I fucking wouldn't. He's like, this place sucks. Like they were just outright like unenthused. They were angry, they were upset, and I think what this post does more than anything is, I forget who said this too, is I don't know.
I think we lost Joe.
Yeah, I was like, is that
No.
My ultimate plan worked. I hacked him.
I thought it was
gone.
I thought it was a long pondering moment about
That's what I thought.
his next word, just because he looks
I
like
thought
he's
I froze.
lost in thought.
Joe can be dramatic, so it
Yeah,
would fit.
and maybe he is actually still doing that, and he's just
Yeah.
I
trolling
almost
us
feel
all.
like I can see him breathing. Is
Yeah.
weird.
Are you? Is he
Oh.
frozen, or is he? No, he's definitely frozen.
He's gone. He's
Yeah.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So Joe's sitting here dropping some straight, making us remember kind of a lot of the issues that have been going on there for a while, right?
Debbie Downer Jr.
But I think what he was going to allude to was that there was some potential excitement because of or maybe it's going to generate some new energy, right? Generate some new energy, some new excitement going on there, and maybe potentially recruit some more talent as well, even though they already have 5,000 plus devs. Let's finish your statement,
back.
Joe, because
Oh, snap. Where'd I leave off?
like this.
I don't know what just happened. All right. But yeah, no, usually when like they make these announcements, it's not just to get the fan base excited, but to get, developers' eyes on their projects so they can join them. And I kind of think that's what this blog post was, because even the day before there was a blog post by Mike Ybarra, talking about their way forward and how they're making that company better. So to me, I'm excited when I see it.
Yeah.
I have no doubt, in terms of the whole acquisition thing, that Microsoft's going to come in there and hopefully restore or help lead Blizzard to restore themselves and weed out those bad actors. There's a financial imperative to do so. So to me, I want to see Blizzard, reformed back to its glory days without the process of making that product. And I want to see them do good. So I'm excited. I'm just like cautiously optimistic, I guess.
Yeah. There's a lot that has to take place in between now and when this transition happens, and then also afterwards when they really take over, when Microsoft really takes over. I guess this is like we had been talking about last week. I think this is different than the ZeniMax Bethesda thing. I think this is going to be like a more restructuring all around and figuring things out, because it's a big entity, right? With the amount of employees and everything that they're going to be taking on, and they got to figure out how is the best way to structure all of that, right? So, but one thing we do know is what Blizzard, we do know that they have Overwatch 2, that whether, what kind of stage of development it's in right now, I don't know, but we do know that they're working on that. We got Diablo 4 coming, right? And now we got this IP and potentially even another one. Then there was also that interesting reply from Micah Barra to Simu Liu, the Shang-Chi actor, with a smiley face referring to please somebody save StarCraft, right? And, with maybe Micah Barra is already making somewhat of an impact there.
Oh, yeah, I have no doubt.
It's possible, right? I mean, he could already kind of be like, hey, this is what we need to do, get everybody refocused on things and stuff like that. But I'm curious what the sentiment of the studio is now. After this news broke, knowing of the future, do you think that can create a positive energy and a sense of hope? Or, but I don't know if you talked to anybody. You said you had a friend that worked there, so maybe.
Yeah. Well, like I know people. I know people that are. I think they're mostly positive about this news. I know like some people that are like, and some people that don't like it straight up. But I think I got faith in Microsoft. I we've all talked about, you take a look at their corporate leadership, and it kind of goes to show that, though they're probably not perfect like the rest of them, that's awesome to see so many diverse faces there. And so I got faith also in Mike Ybarra, because I know he was part of the walkouts, but I also know that there's just this massive distrust still between employee and management. So I think the first thing that they have to get in order is that trust has to be created again, not even rebuilt. It just needs to be established. And I think that's what Mike Ybarra's mission statement is to build that trust.
That sounds a lot like Phil Spencer's first mission statement when he took over as head of Xbox back then.
Yeah.
Drawn TJ, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, I thought I lost signal to watch your show. Yeah. So Joe, when you froze, it looked like you were in ponder of the next thing to say. So we legitimately waited 5 seconds before we realized there was something.
Yeah, no, I saw everybody move. So it was a strange. There's a blizzard outside, so maybe it's knocking some shit loose.
Oh,
but,
yeah. Blizzard's always up to no good. All right. So, Lupa, I want to get your take on Blizzard, and I haven't heard your take on any of this yet with the whole Activision thing, and the acquisition. But as far as already getting new game announcements, which I'm going to assume that the survival game would probably be exclusive to Xbox and PC if this deal goes through, right? Because we're probably not going to see this game for 4 or 5 years at least, right?
Right.
Is this already getting you excited about more stuff in the Game Pass or PC? This is also console. They did say console.
Yeah.
So that's another thing from Blizzard, getting console releases day one as well as a big thing. Does this have you excited for more variety and future stuff?
Yeah, I would like Blizzard to take on some more variety. They have the devs to do it. They're pretty clever. They could to stick to Diablo, World of Warcraft, Overwatch. It's a bit. I mean, my favorite game they made really was Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a top-down dungeon person. I have played Diablo, but I'm not that keen on it. It's okay. I'm looking forward to their new one to see what it's like, because I don't judge anything until I've played it, and then I'll give you my honest opinion. But from what I've seen, it's the sort of game that I enjoy playing. So yeah, I think it stirs up a little buzz. But it's so far off. There's so many great games to come in between that I'll forget about it in a week.
I'm curious when we're gonna get Overwatch 2 and at Diablo 4. Is there an actually official release date for that yet?
No, I was pushed back to 2023. Yeah.
Okay.
At least.
But I think
that one's
the whole Activision Blizzard thing. I mean, all this stupid rubbish on Twitter and stuff, and all these takes on YouTube. People just need to chill out, calm down, because only Phil knows what's going to happen. We can all speculate, we can talk about it and argue about it. At the end of the day, when it all comes to fruition, when they want us to know, we'll know. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, hopefully this is one of the things I'm really hoping for, that Bizarre Creations are let loose to be able to go and make another Blur, because that was a brilliant game. That was grown up Mario Karts. It was so much fun.
Yeah, Blur was great.
And there's a lot of games that I really want all these teams that were put onto COD is ridiculous, and I trust Xbox to make it right and allow them to make the games they want to make and not force them to do stuff they don't want to do. So I am so excited for that. So in the next 3, 4, 5 years, we're going to hopefully see some amazing games coming out of these studios. And to be honest, the more that we compete with PlayStation and come up there on a level with PlayStation and maybe one day even top them, that is only good for us gamers, because we're the ones that win with the competition. So just don't get into fights, people.
Yeah.
Say, be nice.
AssassinLupa, I love you so much. That's how I feel too. And I got shit on it because I was just like, listen, like I know, like I got mixed thoughts on this whole thing, but like at the end of the day, this got pushed PlayStation to be better and put out more great games. So like, I see this as an absolute win, and people are like, no, you can't give Xbox compliments.
Right.
No, I mean, it's not just PlayStation, it's other consoles. You've got the Amico coming, you've got other consoles that are out there, smaller consoles. You've got PlayStation and you've got Nintendo. I mean, maybe one day Xbox will compete with Nintendo. I'm not biased. I'll play all of them. I own all of them. Well, when I get my digital PS5, that's like a freaking unicorn in UK, I will then own all of them, and I play all games anywhere, even on my bloody fridge. So I really don't care. Anything that benefits me as a gamer, anything that's free or near enough free, I will take. Because that's what life's about.
Yeah.
That's the other side of this, is just Game Pass and the other benefits that Xbox has with their services, right? With the cross play and the cross saves.
The other thing I wanted to say is this Spartacus thing.
Yeah.
That's going to fail miserably unless they make it day and date, because there's no way me as a player, a gamer, is going to subscribe to play their old games and pay an exorbitant amount to do it. No.
That's what EA Play was.
God of War and but that's in Game Pass, mate, and I don't.
But before it wasn't though.
Free to me.
Yeah. But I will say though, Jasper, like I don't know how successful EA's thing is. If like PlayStation just wants to have like, okay, we're just gonna do something like EA is, and we're okay with that amount of subscribers, right? Then that's one thing.
But they won't hold on to them, is what I'm
like,
saying.
To compete with Game Pass, like they gotta go above that, because EA Play, even the Plus one, I don't know how many. They can't have more than like a few million.
They
subs.
can't have many. No,
right.
My answer to the
they won't hold on to the subs.
Out here, not my headset.
Oh,
yo, PK, what's up?
PTK.
Yeah.
No, they won't hold on to the subs because people will, like me, for instance, I cancel all my subscriptions. I only subscribe, watch what I want to watch, and unsubscribe. That's what I do with Play Spartacus. I would subscribe, play a couple of old games I want to play if I'm bored. If there's nothing on Xbox, not going to happen really.
That's what most people
unsubscribe.
Do. They have their main service that they always subscribe to, and then they just kind of pick and choose like other random ones.
Yeah, that's what I do with Hulu, like all the time.
The only one that I fully subscribe to 24/7 every week of every year is Game Pass.
Yeah.
For me, when it comes to like the PlayStation ecosystem, when it comes to Spartacus, they just, I think Phil just put the hammer down going, if you want to compete with us, it is $70 billion to do so. And with PlayStation's model, the thing that I don't want is none of their games, their portfolio doesn't fit a subscription, right? So like they are your story-based, your one and dones from, what everybody keeps yelling at me about. So to me, the service, I don't think can be comparable to Game Pass. What it has to do is make PlayStation gamers happy. If they make PlayStation gamers happy, right, like that core sect, that's going to be fine. Now, whatever that is, I don't know. They have to show me, because I'm just like you, AssassinLupa. When it comes to PlayStation now, oh boy, it's not great. I was playing God of War 1, I was loving it, and then all my saves just disappeared. I was playing God of War 2, and I was loving it, and all of a sudden my saves disappeared. So to me, I'm just like, give me a service that actually goddamn works, and then we'll talk about whatever else comes afterwards. Because the hammer's been, or the tenets have been set to what Game Pass is, and I just don't think there's a viable option for PlayStation to go on that level for them. So I really do take a look at Spartacus and go, if it's like Disney Plus, all right. Where like, you'll see some of those games drop day and date. You'll see the more like, maybe let's just say the Twisted Metal game that's happening. Maybe that goes on Spartacus day one, and then Ghost of Tsushima, you get a heavily discounted version, and then you jump on that, or just wait a year and then it comes on the service. That's what I'm thinking with Spartacus, and I get yelled at with my community.
Yeah, I just don't see,
I don't
like,
care about spending $70. Joe, shut up.
it doesn't have to be like Game Pass, though. Because like if you look at the streaming service for like movies and stuff, like you have Netflix is like all movies. That's a completely different thing from Hulu. So like maybe PlayStation goes more of a Hulu route, and like Nintendo's kind of like Peacock, where no one even uses it.
And that's the thing. Like Peacock
Well,
sucks because like what's on
PS
Peacock?
now.
Yeah, right now. Like,
I still think if they named it Average Size Cop, more people would subscribe. I'm sorry,
So, like,
but
it
you
just
want to
doesn't
get
have
the
to be the
most bang
same
for your
service.
buck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would subscribe to the PlayStation Spartacus if, like, God of War was going in their day and date, Horizon Forbidden West. Yeah, I would jump on that. I would have it for
Yeah,
a month,
but
play the
it
hell
won't
out of the
happen.
game, and then ditch it again. But it's not going to happen, and because PlayStation do not treat their gamers properly. They do not care. They just want to strain every penny they can out of them.
But before we keep this
Just
going, though,
For the $70 upgrade and the bloody pay $10 to upgrade and
Yeah.
all this stuff.
I did that
$70
last night
games.
for
Bloody
Uncharted.
disgusting.
yeah,
And let me tell you something. What's real disgusting about that upgrade? The disrespect to Lost Legacy that they pulled. It doesn't have a platinum trophy. It only has a gold.
Oof.
Uncharted 4 is the only one with a gold trophy. Are you out of your mind?
I got some more thoughts on that too. I want to get to,
All
but
right.
hey, PTK, are you with us here? I know that I could overhear you having trouble with your speakers, and you are on mute. So I wanted to see if you're there. If not, that's cool too. But I don't hear a peep coming right now, so I'm gonna assume that's a no. So we'll move on. And if you can hear us, just let us know when you're there in the chat here in the private chat. Yeah, let's. I was talking to Pong a little bit about that Uncharted Lost Legacy thing. And I know I don't want to like this was an Xbox show. I don't want to gripe. I don't want to gripe too much and like nag on PlayStation.
It's got to be
and all this
nagged on
stuff.
because it's wrong.
But okay, so here's my thing, right? They're charging $50 for this collection or a $10 upgrade. Okay. And you see, like, I understand, PlayStation does their thing, Xbox does their thing. You got all these free updates from Xbox on all these games and all these things like that, right? The fidelity mode on Uncharted Lost Legacy is only 4K 30. Like, why the hell? There's no ray tracing implemented or any other major visual things implemented to even make that like a thing. Like, why the hell is that even exist? Right? It seems to me it's just like a quick, like, okay, we're just going to move this over into the PS5. We're going to give them the extra PS5 features, and then we're going to resell it and then charge extra $10 to make it usable on a PS5 as a collection, as opposed to pre-upgrades or really doing the brunt of the work and really going in there and making a lot of changes. And it kind of seems like something I was actually excited about, because Uncharted's like one of my favorite franchises, period.
Yeah.
It seems
That's
more
what
like
you're getting a PS5 digital for, to go back and play Uncharted and God of War.
it seems like a cash grab to me, as opposed to necessary treating the franchise like it should.
Because they gave Last of Us 2 a free upgrade, didn't they? For like 60 FPS, but then they're charging for Uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And I'm not playing it at 30 FPS. Not now.
I think it's dropped to 1080 with the 60. I forget.
Yeah, 1080p
1440. What, on Lost
1440?
Legacy?
No.
1440.
On,
Lost Legacy's upscaled to 4K from 1440, but he's talking about
They just
Last of
like
Us
pick
2.
and choose.
Oh,
Like,
okay,
Which
okay.
one they get for free and which one they charge $10 for. It's like,
yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, I was talking to my brother because he was just like, I wanted like the Ghost of Tsushima upgrade, and I looked at the Digital Foundry thing, and they're just like, you don't need it. You could just do the PlayStation 4 version, and it's pretty much like one to one. Like the PlayStation 5 version, of course, is a bit better, but it's not like marginally so. You're right. I don't like the upgrade either. To be honest. But as long as people keep buying it, they keep doing it, and people are buying it, and so they keep doing it.
Right.
And That's
Can you
that's
guys
the
hear
sad
me?
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, what up, man?
What's up, BTK?
What's up,
What's
dude?
going on?
Hey.
Everybody, sorry about that, man.
Yeah, no problem, man.
It's all good, brother.
I'm glad you
What's
made
going
it. Thanks for being here. We're
Appreciate you.
talking a bunch of stuff here. So we were talking about Blizzard to start with, and first off, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I just ran in here trying to get everything set up at the last minute, but thank you for allowing me to be fashionably late.
Yeah, dude. I love you. One of the best podcasters out there. Honestly, you run a great, consistent show, and you have been for years. So I love having your input on this stuff, man. So we were just talking about Blizzard, and then you kind of dove into. Somehow we ended up going left into talking
My fault.
about Uncharted Lost Legacy and what a ripoff that is right now. But
That said,
it is
though,
what it is.
120 FPS is nuts, and I will shell out any amount of money for any game that goes 120 FPS.
So what's
Yeah.
like, I saw somebody posting like 120 FPS on Twitter, and it was all glitchy and stuff, but I don't know if that's real or
Oh, it's so smooth, man. It's
Is it?
so
Okay.
I'll take real talk, real talk. I will take 1080p if it's at 120 FPS. Go for it. Go for gold, because it's just so smooth. It's how everything should be now.
Nice. Did I miss all the Activision Xbox stuff? Did I miss all of that?
we were just we're still that's still our main topic. We just somehow we get sidetracked here quite a bit.
We went left field, and it's my fault.
No.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
PTK, like we were talking about Blizzard and the survival game that was recently revealed to be in the works. That it could be a huge thing. Who knows? It seems that reports even from Jason Schreier himself said that there is a lot of positivity and excitement from the devs about this game. And then there's also Pong had mentioned that there was Jez had reported that there may be even a second game in the works, another new IP from Blizzard. We know Overwatch 2 is coming. We know Diablo 4 is coming. But like, is this sweeten like the deal? I mean, obviously Xbox had to know about this, but as for us, like for gamers looking at this and the prospects of the future, like is it get you even more excited about this deal?
So, I mean, for me, I'm just excited in general, just because I like to see competition, and this is what people essentially ask for. So I don't understand how people can feel any other way about this potential deal. Because we spent a decade and a half talking about, well, not us particular on the panel, but just people in general, lots of gamers talking about the lack of titles, exclusive titles, console-only titles, all these different, it keeps changing every other year. It changes from what Xbox doesn't have. So I'm just glad to see that they've taken this big step in that direction. They've secured the bag, secured all of these franchises. Essentially they can do what they want once everything closes going forward. So I'm just happy about them, bolstering the war chest. For me, so I haven't even gotten past that yet. But I do want to mention one thing. Joe, I know you mentioned something earlier about you were talking about Spartacus. I don't know if that was in relation to Game Pass.
Just like what to kind of expect, or what I'm expecting.
I kind of want to, something you said kind of hit me, and I think people are missing this. So Xbox Game Pass is already like that ball's already rolling. That thing pretty much runs itself at this point. I think the big thing about Spartacus, and I want to reiterate what you said, is that like we haven't seen Sony in that space. They have a lot to prove in that space. So I get what you're saying about like show me anything before we even start talking about like games and tiers and all this other stuff, because they just haven't been in that space. So I 100% agree, and I think people are missing that. That's a good point, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I do think with Spartacus as well, though, I think the future of games models for consoles / PCs is being forged right now, right? With Xbox, and they're kind of forcing the issue here, with their buying power, right? I mean, with their wallet, and they're heavily invested. And as we're going to see the cloud, I think, get even more utilized in the future, and all of these things, as more consolidation is going to happen, it's all inevitable for me. At this point, I'm wondering how long that traditional model within, hardcore gaming / AAA style games is going to last. I think Nintendo's got that niche with the like stamped with the they got the handheld thing. They have like quirky games. They got their like family friendly thing. But PlayStation's like $70 titles, right? $500 box, and then that's the gateway, right, to the ecosystem. And in the future, I don't know if that's going to sustain the amount of gamers that they want to reach. So at some point, right? I'm not saying it has to be right away when Spartacus is announced, right? But at some point, there's got to be a step into that other territory for the future aspect of where gaming is going, right?
Yeah.
So, I want to get your opinion on this, Joe, because I think it actually started when Xbox just first announced Game Pass. That was the first gauntlet. Sony missed it. They didn't even catch it. Like I think they completely, they're like, oh, that's cool. We'll see what it looks like. Then it turns into, it grows up to be this 7 foot, 265 pound person, Game Pass essentially. They missed it. So I think the big thing, ultimately, and I really want to get your opinion on this, Joe, is that Xbox already has the assembly line, so to speak. Like I was saying, they have the games, they have the delivery system, they have the servers, they have the infrastructure, and that's the big thing. Like people don't understand. Like it takes time for that to happen. Sony has none of that in place. Sony
To me, on the PlayStation side, that started for us when they signed the Azure deal with Microsoft. Yeah. And the one question is, how are you using that tech? Because right now the tech that runs the PlayStation Store is Amazon. So how do you are we like how is that system working? Like, are we replacing the infrastructure for the PlayStation Store from the ground up and just replacing it with Azure?
Do you think maybe that could be why they removed all the movies and TV shows off the storefront potentially as a stepping stone?
Honestly, it could, and the fact that like nobody bought that. Like nobody. Like,
nobody. Do you remember when they made original content? Remember that show Powers that they had?
I remember that.
Y'all don't remember that? Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. But the one thing that I would say, PK, and like this is just like in grand scheme of things, right? Is did PlayStation miss the magic 8 ball? Yes. They're concerned still about selling hardware because they make their money off of that. So that's where they if they want to continue going that path, that's the way they want, right? So like speaking from the present and the near future, PlayStation's still selling really well. It's still doing really well. The brand's still as healthy as it's ever been. And so if you're a bean counter there, you're like, well, why should we? That being said, just because they're late to the party doesn't mean that they can't show up and make some reasonable change, like i.e. Disney Plus is Disney Plus is a great example of someone that came in incredibly late and we're just like, yeah, listen, we don't have like all the original content, but like if you just wait a year or two, we're gonna have at least a show a month that you're gonna take a look at. And Disney Plus within the first year, I believe, was able to literally their bleed number, the way the subscription model works is they have a number that that's their growth number. So like I think it was like $6 in the beginning. They were losing money on that, but they knew because they wanted to gain subscribers. And then that's when they started to upsell you once they hit it. And they hit 100 million in less than like a year or two. Yeah, it's crazy. And they were able to make some change. So, what I'm seeing out of Sony, and no inside source or whatever, but from what I'm seeing from the outside is them going, all right, well, shit is happening. Let's infuse our studios with more cash. Let them expand their studios and their output. And that's how we'll compete. I'm really looking at the Hulu and Disney Plus model as the way that Sony would
I love
probably
that we're now
go through.
Comparing Sony and PlayStation to streaming services, not just Xbox.
See, but I feel like Disney Plus, though, the reason that works is one, you have IP, and two, it's kid friendly, so parents know that they can just throw on Disney Plus and not have to worry about like any content
Right.
being
Well,
sensitive.
people are heavily invested in Disney anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
Disney fanatics, like millions and millions upon. So I think that helps as well too. I mean, you
Sure.
got theme parks, you got 80 years of history. That helps quite a bit, you know.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think the one thing, Joe, that I want to highlight, and I talked about this on the Shop podcast last week, is the one thing that Sony has is priceless. It's
Mhm.
the way people, gamers, feel about them and the way they make
Yeah.
games.
Mhm.
You can't put a price on that. So that's something that Xbox, and people talk about Xbox earning this and all of that. Xbox has it, but not to the same degree as a Sony or Nintendo. Like
Correct.
Sony, you can't put a price on that, and that's going to carry them. As long as they do what they're supposed to do, they can always lean on that loyalty, the way the general
Yeah.
public feels about Sony and the way they make video games and PlayStation. I think that's something that Xbox just doesn't. You can't really buy
that's
it.
the only thing that's really carrying Nintendo at this
Yeah,
point.
that's true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
Yeah.
that's a great point, PK. And the thing that I would say to that is the one thing that they have. This will sound fanboyish. Oh, yell at me! I don't care. I'll get it from both sides. I don't care.
Everybody go leave a bunch of dislikes on Joe's next
Yeah.
video.
Go for it, dude. I got dozens last week. I could take more. The thing with PlayStation is the thing that people forget is like it's the 7th most popular brand in the world. It's in the top 10. The PlayStation blog's traffic is insane for a goddamn blog. And the reason because of that is what you mentioned. They have IP that people literally stop and stare and go, holy crap. Like, take a look at Horizon. Right? That like people are just, oh my God, look at people are reviewing it 2 weeks early. Like that was the news of the day.
Yeah.
You know, people turn their head when they see God of War, Horizon, Uncharted. They know that they have this IP that is untouchable. And so that's the one thing that I think for them, even if you're not a big fan of it, you could see it literally just through sales alone, that they have an opportunity to make something of a service. The service just has to be approachable. And again, it's not through like the Xbox lens. It's through as the average PlayStation consumer, right? I'm on their box already. I'm content with their box. Now make me like the box a little bit more. I don't think PlayStation's immediate goal is Xbox's, where it's 50 million subscribers. I think there's just a way more conservative, like 5 or maybe 10. And at that mark, we'll start growing, but way smaller because we're a much smaller unit than this $1 trillion company.
Do you think that they're going to have to pad it out with third party though?
Yes. And I think the one thing I would really like to see, I saw a few like indie devs and Mike Biffle, one that was actually alluded to this as well. That we're going to see PlayStation be more aggressive when it comes to indies than they have been over recent years. And that's good if you're an indie. Yeah. So there's been some allusions to PlayStation is walking around with some pocket change going, you want to come sign this little deal with us. Come on. Because it's such a small risk and like small reward for them that they can do that. So that I think they're going to definitely pad out this service.
We've already even seen that now with like Kina and Sifu and Fist and Stray, right?
Yeah.
So those are
We've
just
also
4.
seen Sony play the opposite too. We've seen them like charge make indies charge like 20K or whatever you get on the like front page of the store. So like
that's a good point.
Yeah.
That was a bad thing.
Awful. And like they all suck when it comes to discovery, but PlayStation was like especially oof. But like to see them take that and seemingly change it or starting to change it, that's really awesome to see. I think they understand that they need to gain ground back from indies. And again, from what I understand, it's always like a pendulum when it comes to indie devs. One platform will be really sweet 1 minute and then sour the next, and then really sweet 1 minute and then sour the next. So, you know, to me, I think PlayStation strategy, and this is what I really want from them, is just like, give me your back catalog, put trophies on it, pad it out with some cool, unique indies that wouldn't be funded either way. Maybe put some third-party stuff on it. That would be nice. And I'm good, and I'm very content with this service. The one thing that I think a lot of people lose track on, and I forget where this conversation happened or where this conversation went, but for me, I heard some people go, with this deal, it was not just Sony freaking out. It was all of them. Like Ubisoft, EA, 2K, they all had emergency meetings of like, what the hell just happened? And what? What happens going forward? Because there is the elephant of the room is that the third parties play nice to a certain degree. They still want games at $60-$70 day one. Because they want those day one sales. So when they saw that was very concerning for them.
Well, those games aren't in the future going to be $70, So the Activision Blizzard ones aren't. So we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they're just like, oh crap, we really like our day month money.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What just happened? This is another thing, and I want to ask Pong about this real quick because with this Activision Blizzard. I want to ask Pong about this one. The Activision, which Pong? Yeah, Kate. Kate's away screen right now is Pong. It was making me laugh a second ago. All right, so Activision Blizzard being acquired, like Joe makes a good point here, by Microsoft, right? You had a couple of these publishers out there that are more doing anti-consumer things than most, right? As far as like, okay, $70 games. I think Activision was the first one to actually announce a $70 game in Call of Duty, right? And that's when all the media was out there being like, hey, it's time. Things go up. It's
I think EA did that too.
You sure that might have been 2K?
With NBA 2K.
It could have been 2K.
I was going to say 2K.
Or not, I mean, it was Take-Two.
I don't
with
remember
NBA.
if it was Call of Duty or 2K or whatever.
I think it was 2K.
Madden did that too shortly after.
Yeah.
And so they were one of the first, and they were all kind of, teaming up on that stuff. And then you also have like Activision games that also can be like you pay $70 or $60, then you're getting access to a storefront after buying the game, right? So there's more like things going on with them and how they've kind of done things. Also, you don't have any kind of cross buy or any of that kind of stuff, right? Xbox buying Activision Blizzard is going to implement all of those features from Xbox in a few years after that goes through. You're going to have the cross save, you're going to have the cross buy, you're going to have the cloud gaming over all the different devices and all these things. That does make a big shift, right? Like how do those publishers and does it affect Sony even having to look at it? Because there's one less on that team, right?
And that was a big one.
Yeah, I mean it is a big one, but I think overall the acceptance level has gone up. We hear less and less complaining about it, right? So the deal is that eventually even Xbox could wind up doing it. Now I don't know if they're going to do it, short term or long term as far as how long they're going to hold out on it, but as this becomes the accepted way, why wouldn't look, it looks great for Xbox right now. But at the same time, it has not affected Sony sales. It hasn't affected 2K sales. It hasn't affected Activision sales. It hasn't affected EA sales. Mm-hmm. So again, at the end of the day, once that becomes the norm, then the outliers like an Xbox are just missing out on the money at that point. And how long they hold on to that, maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll do it for the whole gen. Maybe they'll wait until next gen before they decide to move that way.
But you could argue it's affected Activision sales though. Because Vanguard sold less than it usually did, but it still sold a lot. Because
that's the game, though. The game did that themselves, right? It was the hype around the game when people saw it playing. We're like, this is not good. This is not.
Well, that and the whole court case going around Activision didn't help either.
Yeah, right. All that.
But
all
did that affect Battlefield potentially, though? You know what I mean?
Well, no, because again, had Battlefield. We talked about this at length, Mav. Had Battlefield stuck to landing, okay, and people were playing it and saying this is the best Battlefield since Battlefield 3 or Bad Company 2. Had that happened, it still would have been selling at that amount. Yeah. It wouldn't have mattered. People could have complained about the campaign not being there all day long. They would have slapped down their money the same way they do for copy and paste Madden, the same way they do for all these other games. They can complain all they want while they're handing over the credit card, but they do it. Okay. And it would have happened for Battlefield, but because Battlefield didn't stick to the landing, well, then it's a lot easier for people to say, well, look, it's not even that great game. It sucks. So certainly I'm not going to even spend, 70, 80, 90, $100.
But at that point, though, do the expectations of a $70 game increase.
I don't think so.
Compared to a $60 game.
Honestly, I don't think so. I think that tier drop off is at the $40 mark. We're playing one right now, right? In Extraction.
Yeah.
And Extraction at $40 for all of us that are enjoying it is worth it, right? And all of us, I think, have agreed in chat while we're playing the game. If it was at 60, we'd be like, that'd be tight, right? So I think that mark is at about a $40 mark where that kind of psychology goes into effect where you're like 40, 60, yeah, $40 for sure. I could see this game. I don't think the $60 to $70 mark. I don't think the expectations from a $60 game to a $70 game changes anything, right? I just don't think so. I think most people have accepted the fact that there are companies out there and we're headed that way, that $10 increase is going to become the norm, even more so. And I think that's that's what everybody wanted. And that's why everybody jumped on it, right? Because again, like I said, 2K knew, Take-Two knew, like, hey, there's going to be a lot of bitching and complaining out here in the world. But at the same time, people aren't going to stop buying NBA. They're just not. It's not going to happen. And that just rolls into all the other titles from there on out. We've seen it happen. So
yeah, for me, like with the value that you're getting on like Xbox is influencing my decisions on buying other games, right?
Sure.
Like I'm buying less, and the $70 games I'm less likely to purchase, just personally, right? I have a couple of them I go after right away, but I didn't buy Call of Duty Vanguard this year.
Yeah, I waited for a sale for that.
Yeah,
because it was 70. I was like, whatever.
I usually there's other games that I usually jump in right away that I just didn't, right? Because of the $70 price point. Any of the PlayStation games, even if I'm super excited about them right now, I'm not gonna pay $70 for them personally, just because I would rather wait for a sale, right?
Sure.
Like I'm also buying more AA games, like $40 games now, because I'm saving so much money with Game Pass. It's like I can just pick up a cheaper game just like last couple weeks instead of
If the game's good, I buy it.
Right. And that's really what it still comes down to, right? But look at how easy look. 5 years ago, $100 Ultimate Editions. We're like, what? Are you freaking kidding me? Now, basically every game that comes up, all the big ones are $100 plus, right? Battlefield's 120.
And you don't even get a statue anymore.
Right. You don't get the statue. You don't get any of the, that's for the digital versions, because they've already got to us that the season pass that most of them include, or the DLC or whatever they're going to call it, depending on the game, is already acceptable. Like you already put it in your mind. Well, I'm going to wind up buying the DLC. I'm going to
save $10.
I'm going to save $10. So $100. Fine. There it is. You know,
to your point too, like a lot of us did spend money on Forza Horizon 5, even though it's in Game Pass, because we wanted that extra content. Right.
That's what I did, because I got it in Game Pass. It was easy to buy the DLC for half the cost of the full game. Because it's never leaving Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's the same as like Grounded or Halo, all those. I won't buy the main game, but I'll buy the DLC because, it's worth it.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like when it comes to what I think Jeff Grubb has said this a couple of times. It's like he doesn't, the price will go up eventually for Game Pass, but it's not as stressed as like Disney Plus, because they got DLC that they can sell in microtransactions. So it kind of helps even things out. They can remain at that price for longer. When it comes to like,
and plus they also
$70
sell games also.
Yeah.
I bought more games since Game Pass than I ever did before.
Real talk. If I really like a game in Game Pass, I buy it on my PlayStation. Like I like my trophies too much. So, for people going, talking about that $70 price point, it's kind of also what Matt Piscatella said like a year plus ago. It's like, people don't understand like how popular those deluxe versions of those games were. A lot of people bought them. So a lot of people are already just accustomed to like, all right, $70, that's fine. To me, there has not been a game that defeats that narrative like, oh, this game didn't sell well because it was $70. Like right now, currently, every PlayStation game has exceeded their expectations of where those games were going to land. And I think the big test for them is Horizon Forbidden West. And seemingly, never underestimate the power of FOMO. That game's going to push units. I'm sorry.
For sure.
Second
All
Might as well have
Stars.
him watch some of it.
Yeah, Destruction All Stars.
Destruction All Stars
All-Stars.
and
Yeah.
Godfall.
Thank God
Those
they
two
cut
games.
that.
Godfall. Oh my goodness.
But is that
no.
because
Game of the Year
PlayStation-
Destruction All Stars?
Is that because PlayStation doesn't have a choice though? They have to pay $70 for the PlayStation games, whereas Xbox you get like multiple editions usually.
So, like to get on the Destruction All Stars, that game is is a game that failed because PlayStation, kind of like with Extraction, didn't know where that game fell, and so I think they saw pre-orders were so low that they're like, yeah, you know what, this is a very unproven idea from us. Let's put it on PlayStation Plus. And then when it was on PlayStation Plus, they're like, let's lower it to $20. So I think it genuinely confused folks. And as for Godfall,
hey, this $70
bad
game,
game.
we changed our mind. It's actually only worth $20. You know,
I mean,
oops,
pretty
I'm
much.
Sorry, we just had some bad market research out there. We just thought this was something that we thought it was like God of War. You know, it turns out it's just a stupid little car game where you run into each other. So, hey, my mistake, $50 less. My bad, guys. In
Real
fact,
talk,
hey,
Mav,
you can have it for
how
free.
many conversations I've had over the last month that are like that would shock you.
It's insane. How do these people not know this shit about their own stuff?
I mean,
it's like,
yeah, I mean, part of it comes with like, they know more people are susceptible to buy stuff at a hardware system launch or when they get their piece of hardware, so they could just throw shit on it.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Jasper, you said something that I totally. Oh, that people
PlayStation
are.
doesn't have a choice. It's like they get $70 games, and that's their only option.
They have a. I mean, they had a choice of not raising it to $70, but they didn't. Right. So, like, to them, I think the PlayStation consumer is just okay with it. And I know, like,
they're conditioned.
Yeah, just like everybody's conditioned to like
Nintendo,
everything.
Nintendo fans, we've been talking about prices.
Yeah,
they don't
Nintendo
drop
fans.
prices for anything. Not even on a Black Friday.
Nintendo's way worse than PlayStation with that stuff.
Look have a sale, PT. They did have a sale. I bought some games in the sale. They were $10
Yeah, I think
off.
Mario Kart 8 was $53.
Yeah. The whole damn $10 off a couple of games I wanted. I was like, okay.
Didn't Mario
I'll take
Kart
it.
8
This is not
originally
gonna
come
happen
out
again.
on the Wii U? And it's like, hey,
Yeah,
it's
that is
finally on
ridiculous.
sale.
It's crazy.
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah, but
the
it's
Donkey
like,
Kong
it was
game.
the deluxe version.
Yeah. They just slap deluxe on it. They charge you $60. They sell an extra million.
Oh, that's nothing. What about the Mario All Stars thing? I mean, Galaxy and Sun, whatever it's called.
And they didn't do
Shine
anything
and-
to them.
And they did nothing to them.
And then they discontinued it 6 months later.
They resold me Skyward Sword off the Wii.
It just goes to show, man, when you got IP that is unmatched, like when you got the power of IP, you really like Nintendo really shows you could really do
They don't
so
the hell you
much.
want.
They do whatever they want. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nintendo is a follower. I got a question for the panel. I got a question for everybody
devil.
here. And really for you, Joe, because I'm curious from your perspective, but everybody here can answer it. So
I've talked
we
too
don't-
much, but okay.
Let's get to
we
Psycho
don't-
first. And then
That always
I'm curious
happens.
to
Okay,
Psycho.
go ahead, Psycho. My bad.
No, I want to know. Ask you. I want to hear what Psycho says to your question.
Okay. So we never talk a whole lot about this, but I want to talk about Sony and the multiplayer side of things, because that's the one thing that Xbox, when you have a service like Game Pass, you know, having multiplayer games in Game Pass that people are going to come and, you know, return back to play over and over again. That's something that Xbox is synonymous with. Sony doesn't necessarily have that type of fan base. Their fans aren't even really conditioned for like multiplayer type stuff, but outside of Call of Duty and third party stuff, but like first party stuff. So I'm interested to see how they're going to fill that gap. And I wanted to ask, you know, everybody on a panel, do you think that Spartacus is going to struggle because they don't have those first party, you know, multiplayer options like Xbox has? Do you think that's going to be a thing? People are going to complain about that, or as long as they have the third party stuff, they're going to be good to go?
Well, I know from at least playing like the PS3, they struggled a lot, at least with their network, and that was like the big turnoff with
went down for 6 months.
That because of hacking and everything, but that was the big thing. It was like their infrastructure was not as good. Like Xbox Live was like the standard, and PlayStation, truthfully, I mean, the network wasn't that good. Playing like SOCOM and stuff like that, it wasn't there. It just wasn't. And I just actually saw a picture of a lot of studios that are in the that are for PlayStation that are working on actually multiplayer games right now.
Yeah, they have a few. They got a few.
Yeah, they got like I think like 6 or 7 games that are multiplayer driven or in development as we speak. So it's interesting that they're going towards that. It's just they just never were synonymous with being online multiplayer studios. They just that wasn't Sony's thing. Sony was single player experiences, and they do that very well. As Xbox, they do more of the co-op and online multiplayer extremely well because they've been doing it a lot longer. So it's good that they're going towards that to give their customers something to play other than just I'd finish this game in 15 hours, I'm done, or 20 hours, and that's it. They're done with it. This gives them more replay value and gives the more life and for their gamers.
I think
from what I know, like PlayStation customers have been dying for one multiplayer game that they're not getting, and that's Last of Us 2 multiplayer. Like every time I hear
factions, yeah. Steel is a huge factions guy, and he has been all over that.
Because he has great taste.
Every living split screen, he brings it up that factions. It was a lie.
It was
supposed to be out. Yeah,
right. Yeah, it's kind of weird that's kind of happened like it has. I think to your point too, like Kate doesn't ever really been interested or care about what's on PlayStation because there's really nothing multiplayer focused there, right? Like I'm curious, babe, if they did have multiplayer stuff, if you'd be more interested in playing it on a PlayStation at all, or no?
My PlayStation is
Do they got Fortnite?
one player console.
So here's the list. So Sucker Punch has a multiplayer game coming. They have Guerrilla is working on an unannounced multiplayer game.
Is that going to be Resistance?
Could be. That'd be good. I mean, they need something.
Guerrilla?
Yeah.
Well, wait, Infamous. Wait, no, sorry. Who did Resistance? Was that Insomniac?
Yeah, that was Insomniac.
Insomniac. Okay.
Guerrilla did Killzone, I think.
Right.
Yes, Killzone.
Yeah. So Insomniac is also doing the third project. They're doing a multiplayer game.
That could be Resistance potentially.
Naughty Dog's. I think that's the Last of Us 2 multiplayer.
Yeah.
And then let's see.
You got Firewalk, you got Haven, you got Guerrilla.
London Studios.
What about
Deviation.
the game Jade Raymond? Is that multiplayer that
That's
they're working
Haven,
on for PlayStation?
That's
okay,
Haven.
Yeah. Okay. Haven's multiplayer, Deviation is multiplayer, which I'm very curious about Deviation, and I'm very curious about Firewalk because Firewalk's X Destiny, Deviation is X Call of Duty. I am very curious about Guerrilla's game because for the longest time, everybody said it was SOCOM.
Which would be smart.
I honestly, I think if the time is for SOCOM, the time is now.
Correct.
But we talk about Xbox having or making that, Monster Hunter, or whatever the hell they're doing. Yeah. I definitely think that's what they're doing with Horizon. Because that's been a rumor for a long minute that there's going to be a Horizon multiplayer game.
Yeah.
No, I genuinely think that they're going to. So the rumor is it's a MMO, and they're putting a lot of stock and a lot of faith into Horizon. It's really awesome. As a big Horizon fan, it makes me excited. I'm thinking it's more the lines of Monster Hunter-esque, where this is your hunter. They have one, specific thing they do really well, kind of like the Ghost multiplayer, and that's your class. And let's go out there and hunt big giant, mecha dinosaurs. Yeah, PlayStation needs it, Blam. They're not good at them. In all honesty, they know that their portfolio is weak when it comes to it.
They've stuck to a certain model that they've known has worked for them.
What do you play once you beat your single player game?
Director's cut when it comes out.
Yeah. When it comes to real talk, there are games that don't leave my hard drive. So like Ghost of Tsushima does not leave the hard drive. It's not allowed. Bloodborne, I literally beat it for I don't even know how many times.
No, because you just brought it up. What happened to the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer? Why aren't people playing it? What's wrong?
I don't know. It's really good, but it's also it's really good, but it's also not to say feature rich. I think it's not content rich.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Ghost is very much a test for
Is that more the game or Sony fans? Because once again, they're not. I mean, to be honest, this is not something that the fan base is used to. Like not you guys. I don't want to make it seem like you some different race.
You know what you're saying, PTK.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
you guys, you people. Guys, what do you mean, Blam?
Yeah, I know, right? That reminded me of Tropic Thunder. But anyway, I'm just asking, once again from the other side of the fence, if you think is that going to have an adverse effect on Spartacus because you need a reason for people to come back and play? You can't just stuff a bunch of 30-hour games and then that be it.
Great question.
Well, that's why they've been making those acquisitions of those studios.
True, that's true as well. We see they got things coming up, so I don't want to.
Yeah, but also just to add real quick to PTK's point, Joe, to add on that, just give you an example. If Extraction dropped into PS Plus or PS Now or whatever, like next month, right? And they said Extraction's coming. You think it would get the kind of response it's had on Game Pass?
Yeah. Yes.
You do?
When games go the goddamn dwarf game that just popped.
Deep Rock.
Deep Rock Galactic.
Galactic.
Their population because of the PlayStation Plus, I think it's like either doubled or tripled, and they've seen a big growth spurt because of that.
That's people PS Plus, not like a subscription service.
Sure, but I'm
you know what
right.
I mean?
I'm just using what they got right now.
Yeah, just using what they got right now.
Let me bring this up real quick before you answer this.
Yeah, please.
Right? I'm just gonna say Tribes of Midgard.
Oh yeah, that piece of shit.
That game had a lot of potential.
I was so happy about that game. Yeah.
I was too. I bought it. I was like, $20. Let's go. We're gonna have a blast. Lots of people are gonna get this. It's gonna be a great multiplayer game. It's only on PlayStation and PC. Where was that? They marketed it heavily at a lot of the PlayStation events. They had it showcased multiple times. Nobody bought the damn game. Nobody cared. It was something. If that game had dropped into Game Pass day one, it would have had massive
Game Pass effect. Yeah.
A massive appeal, and we would have had a lot of people playing. I would argue also if it had just released on Xbox for $20, it also would have succeeded a lot better.
Sure.
So I think the PlayStation gamer overall just doesn't care as much about multiplayer games.
No, they do. Real
PlayStation
talk.
does have like Final Fantasy MMO, and they have Planet Side 2.
Very-
So they do get those big, like more populated games.
Genshin Impact is another
Genshin Impact
community games, but not the just like, oh, we're gonna play this game, then play that game, hop around to this multiplayer game, hop around to this multiplayer game. It seems like only like these big, massive core games.
So it's a misconception, and I definitely understand why, because PlayStation is known for having those single player games, and they fill out their portfolio with the multiplayer stuff with Fortnite, with Call of Duty. If you took a look at the Call of Duty base, I was trying to get figures while we were talking. I didn't have enough time. I would make a very fair bet that the majority of people that are playing on Call of Duty right now are probably PlayStation PC, Xbox.
100%.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
If you take a look at Fortnite, it's probably PlayStation, PC, Xbox in that order.
But those are the gimmies, right? Like, and that's.
But it's not a gimme. It's literally like those are the premier. If you take a look at like most multiplayer centric games, like even Rainbow Six.
But that's when you got 130 PS4s out there.
I was gonna say, is that more so due to just the brand popularity than people actually enjoying multiplayer games on a PlayStation? I think that has more suited to do with just people like to play on PlayStation more than they like to play on Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's a great problem to have.
Right?
Yeah,
no, absolutely. I just don't know if that has to. I don't know if that. I get where you're going, but I don't know if that has to do with just like people liking multiplayer games more on PlayStation. I think it's just more to do with
we have a PlayStation, more so I'm going to play Fortnite on the PlayStation.
And I think that's what PlayStation and Sony is probably worried about. Because if you take a look at the Call of Duties, you take a look at the Fortnites, yeah, those are like fair weather fans. They're there because God of War, Horizon, and all those games kind of brought them there. And also their friends brought them there, right? And that's why if I'm, PlayStation, I'm like, oh, shit, my portfolio, multiplayer, let's go. Jen, where are you?
Most of the base that play those games, they only play those games.
Yeah, they're your Call of Duty
else.
Maddens. Yeah, your Call of Duty
Call
Madden.
of Duty or your Fortnites. Most of the youngsters that play Fortnite and even the older people, that's all they play 100%.
Yeah, and so like that is the thing. So there is a large population that play multiplayer games that are on PlayStation. We're just not as loud about it. And honestly, when it comes to our brand, we're not synonymous for it like the way that Microsoft is, because a lot of your games are co-op based. When I think of Xbox, I think of cooperative. I am thinking of Halo co-op. I am thinking of Gears co-op, Horde mode, Sea of Thieves, even State of Decay. I remember when I was playing, my buddy Sean, I literally logged into my friend. I saw my friend assassinating one of his followers. I was like, what's going on here? I think of Microsoft as that co-op brand, even though when it comes to the mainline multiplayer games, their audiences aren't as there as they are on PlayStation. So the problem for PlayStation is if and when Call of Duty leaves, how do we fix that gap? How do we assess that situation? Or can we leverage the fact that there is such a large player base of Call of Duty fans by the time 2024 comes out that we could kind of go, hey, remember Minecraft? Maybe you keep making these games here. Maybe. So.
Can I just ask, why does this show feel like Joe is like a Sony exec and we have him on and we're interviewing him?
All the Sony
You're right.
We're like interviewing Joe.
You're all cross-examining me and shit.
I'd like to get to a couple of these super chats real quick. Hey, Drawn TJ
Please.
with the $5 super chat says Sony is going to screw up Twisted Metal by giving it to the people that made Destruction All Stars.
That's already been changed.
Yeah.
I think, that got
I don't think
a lot of those people moved over there. And I think Destruction All Stars
happening.
failed because it wasn't Twisted Metal.
Drawn TJ also with a very generous, thank you so much, sir, $20 super chat. He says, why are the Sony fans and Sony in general attacking Xbox for getting Call of Duty? Stop whining. You have Killzone, Resistance, and SOCOM. Maybe Sony stops being lazy and makes great shooters again. Well, I think because, like Joe said, like PlayStation
they didn't have to up until this point.
Has kind of been the Call of Duty box for a lot of gamers, right? They just go to the store. Hey, they got the map packs early. The PlayStation had all the branding for Call of Duty and all the marketing and all the commercials, and it was a big selling point. And I think that going to the store now, that's going to switch to where it's going to be Xbox, right? Marketing, Xbox branding, and potentially exclusive content, if not the games being exclusive in general. So they have been using Call of Duty's brand recognition, which is massive, as a selling point to the PlayStation brand, right?
PlayStation likes brands. They will partner up with them to elevate their brand. That's why you see them partner up with brands like Apple to help host their stuff or promote their stuff. So it's the same reason why you see, them partner up with, let's just say, like a Star Wars for one of their games.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll
they bought
for the weebs.
Yeah.
Side note, I saw a GameStop article where the GameStop employees now are saying, hey, if you want to play Call of Duty in the next 5 years, you might want to buy an Xbox. It may not be on PlayStation.
That has impact. That has impact. It does.
Joe, what was Jim's demeanor on the calls after this news went down? What was it like?
I couldn't see from under the desk.
Oh my
What are you doing under the desk?
Straight on the nose.
Listen, you got to do what you got to do to get these inside sources. I'm not proud.
Oh, man, it's okay, Joe. I get it.
I'm not proud of it.
$20 is $20, right?
Exactly.
Let me review Horizon Forbidden West, please.
Yeah,
And they still deny me.
God of War Ragnarok. I'll go again. Let's go. Just tell me when you're ready.
Go. All right.
See those knee pads hanging up in the background, Joe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Lots of it.
We love you, Joe. We love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Cerny's like, let me hold his ears.
Oh wow!
Oh my God.
Here we go. Go left.
It went left. Quick.
Let me hold his ears.
Oh,
Stick some cotton wool in them. While we
Psycho's
tell him
dead.
he's no longer staying here, he's out on his freaking ear.
I'm at a loss.
So just to kind of wrap up what I was saying, and I know I've kind of directed all of this at Joe, but I just think that that's something that people haven't really thought about. That Sony is entering this space. They don't. It's very, very precarious, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they maneuver, especially after this Activision deal, knowing that was kind of like one of their big draws and the reason a lot of people went out and bought a PlayStation. So that's going to be interesting to see. So we'll see how many people are squirming in a year or two when everything's official, and we'll see what happens. But I'm just curious to see how agile PlayStation actually is. You know what I'm saying?
I think they've been planning for it for a long time, PTK. I think they saw this. They've already started. They started a while back. Sony fans don't want to accept it, but they started using engagement as one of their key words a while back. And they obviously knew that if they were going to launch a service, which they've probably been planning for a while now. I mean, obviously it just didn't happen out of the blue because Game Pass all of a sudden is relevant. So their plans, they had to know they had to fill that gap, because if you just fill that service with a bunch of single player games, like everybody's already said, you don't keep people subscribed. People then jump in and jump out, jump in, jump out.
Yeah.
And that's all they're going to do. That's where Game Pass has the advantage, and why we keep seeing games like Extraction come into it, because that engagement continues. So even if there isn't necessarily that home run first party title out there, there's so many other third party titles that are continuous games, whether they're games as a service or co-op multiplayer, whatever they are, people still subscribe, right? And we're not even talking about the sheer amount of games that are in Game Pass right now, but Sony's going to have to fill that gap in order.
Maybe
to
that's
make
Sony's model, just to get them to jump in and jump out.
But no, they're not. A subscription service, that doesn't work. You have to have that constant subscription, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
really perfect example.
that's what I was saying, Pong.
Yeah.
Remember when back at MLB, the show, when we were all trying to play multiplayer together and we couldn't? None of us.
Yeah.
Right.
There was the only thing that was multiplayer that I think we could find was either Expedition or Home Run Derby, and that was it. We couldn't get on a team together and play as a team and play. That was I was just like, what the fuck? But that's the thing with it's a Sony game. They don't have that strong multiplayer presence.
But that's why they're cutting all these deals.
Yeah.
So
that's the MLB's fault for signing that goddamn Game Pass deal. They're like, our servers can't handle this goddamn capacity. This is nuts.
No, they're gonna fix it. And the good news is with Sony, they have a bunch of IP they can go back to. Right.
True,
So even though that IP has been kind of gone for a while, that they haven't had that multiplayer, they still have the names. And
that goes back
to
to what I
bring out a
was saying, Paul.
SOCOM, would be a huge W.
Insane.
Huge W.
That goes back to what I was saying. They can always lean on the goodwill of their fans and they can always, same thing with Nintendo. Nintendo has to do. They've sat on their hands for a decade, if we're being honest about Nintendo, and nobody bats an eye.
Nope.
So the fact that Sony can always lean on that's one trump card, one ace in the hole that they always have.
Yeah.
Is that they can lean on just, their fans essentially, which is great. That's a great fucking problem. Absolutely great problem.
They used to be able to rely on those exclusive games as well, right? But they are still going to have those exclusives, but you're not going to be able to, a year or two from now, look over at Xbox and say, but they don't have the big exclusive games anymore. Right? So they're not going to be able to use that as this is our value proposition here, as opposed to that brand. Because the brands and the games that Xbox is coming, I just did a pre-show thing here, just listing off an insane amount of shitload amount of new games that are coming, huge IPs, brand new shit, all coming to the Xbox, and you add on top of that the Call of Duty stuff, all the Blizzard stuff, and everything, and it's the whole, hey, we have these games over here that are like better than what Xbox has is not going to be used anymore. They will not win that argument. It could be, you could see it as an equal in the future, but as opposed to value wise, the Xbox is going to kill them in that regard.
Well, I think that if we're talking about like Sony's first party and exclusive, I still think that they, I think ultimately, because I think they still have an edge in that space, just strictly because when people hear about a Sony game coming, there's no like, well, what about this game? There's no mystery, right? Like there's a mystery sometimes with Xbox exclusive. There's this, well, I don't know, like we'll
Starfield.
There's questions and all these types of things. That doesn't happen. God of War's coming out. I'm buying it, right? Like, Xbox doesn't necessarily have that.
Well, they will. That's my point.
They will
right now.
I mean,
they will.
But
I guarantee
in 2 to 3 years they will have that. Like with the Activision purchase alone, you got like Call of Duty, you have Diablo, you have Overwatch, these games that have, and then with the Bethesda purchase, Fallout, Elder Scrolls,
Starfield,
games that have sold 20 plus million units, the likes that we see that of PlayStation selling. So like Xbox will get to that point too. That said, and here's where, because we've been too chummy for way too fucking long. I have no excitement for Starfield. I've seen a fucking JPEG and a promise from what's it? God Howard.
Yes.
Here comes the slander.
Wolverine, Joe.
Hey,
no.
Yeah,
bullshit. I've seen an arm. I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
It's Insomniac. It's gonna be
the slander.
Watch this. This is my excitement for Wolverine. It's right there. I don't know the game. Here's my excitement for God of War.
That's your problem.
I'm excited for God of War.
That's a you problem, Joe.
It is a me problem. I've seen a
hype.
JPEG.
You lack hype. Yep. Let's go.
No, I've seen the truth of these goddamn marketers and what they know people will fall for. I've seen it.
When you know who's making it and you love who's making it, you can get hype for something you have not seen because you trust those people behind it.
100%.
You know how excited I am for Elden Ring? Got the shirt.
I already know.
Yeah.
You've been talking about it for months.
Oh, Miyazaki-san.
Yeah, that's a very popular sentiment. I'm not excited about it until I see it, get my hands on it and all this stuff.
When I see the trailer, when I see the gameplay, that's when I'm like, yes, this is what I like to see.
You don't see that.
Well, if I just see a CGI sandwich, I'm like, all right.
Well, Joe, it's been a great show. We'll see you soon, brother. You gotta head out. Been great.
Joe is awesome, man. No,
we got too chummy. I need to throw some blood in water. You know?
I don't know, man. Like it's just hard for me to believe that, Joe. Like it really is. Maybe you really are like that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a few people in the community that I think that are truly like, okay, I just gotta wait until I actually see gameplay, things like that. It's just as a game, like you said, it's just for me. Like if I've played their games before. I know what they can do. I know the quality of the games. I know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
I think that for me just gets me like that's the exciting part for me. Like
that's why people get excited about new games, right?
Don't get me wrong. When I see like when I see a Wolverine, I'm like, oh yes, give this to me. This is awesome. But then like the rationale comes to me, and I'm just like, or the rational joke comes, and he's like, it'll probably be a long while. His arms aren't gonna look that good. The best trailer I've ever seen in my life goes to Outer Worlds 2.
Oh yeah, Outer Worlds 2. That was
where they show you this great CG trailer and they break the fourth wall of like, we don't even know if this is going to be in the game. We don't even know this. We don't even have a concept. All we have is this logo.
Funny.
That is how it works. Like, guys, that's how it is. They don't even know what the game is until 8 months out. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's a great trailer. And I'm excited for that game, but look how excited I am for it. He's a jaded boy.
At least you're consistent, Joe. At least you're consistent, man.
Yeah, I used to be all about the hype, but then I feel like when I got overly hyped for things, I was putting unrealistic expectations on them, and I was just getting disappointed by it. I was like, this is supposed to change my fucking life and pay off my student loans.
So that's where you're the one of those that gets disappointed by it. See, that's where the thing is. Like,
so I'm like, I'd rather come out of like a nice, healthy excitement. You know,
how long did it take you? How long did it take you to learn how to swim, Joe?
I was 3 or 4.
Okay, all right.
I had a little tubies on. I was really good at it.
Where's this going?
No. I'm just saying no because essentially, like he's saying, like I was trying to make an analogy. You threw me off, but it sounds stupid now. But anyway, it sounds stupid now. It doesn't matter. You killed it already. Doesn't even matter where I was going with that.
I was gonna say, like, Pong and I are very similar in this situation. I think Psycho as well, where we live constantly in this like hype zone of what's next, right? And
God, isn't it tiring?
No, it's
No,
awesome. Always
Xbox
be
is giving us
Plenty
stuff.
of room.
optimistic, and then when stuff
I'm with
doesn't
you,
hit,
TT. That's so damn tiring. I'm just like, give me the game, let me play it, and I'll
But you always have something to look
give it
forward
my
to.
honest opinion
yes.
afterwards.
No,
I
Jasper,
do
too,
look.
you're one
I'm
of
looking
us.
forward to Plague Tale Requiem. No fucker else is.
I'm excited too, Assassin.
It's all
Look how
subjective.
excited we are for it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just
You
we just
need to
chill
be-
about it when we get it in our hands. Then I'll be bloody
No,
excited.
I live in a hype to where it's like I'm always looking forward to the next thing. And you know what? If it doesn't hit, it's like okay,
I
there's
just don't
another
play it.
thing to look excited.
There's another
for.
thing. Yep.
Right. There's another thing. And it's like, okay, it is what it is. The same thing with award shows, the game shows, like the E3 and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great, fucking amazing. And if it's a shitty show, like, oh, that's a shitty show. Oh well, I'll look forward to the next one. You know,
The
it
only
is what it
thing
is.
that I really buzz about, is new IPs. I want to know what they're like, how they're like, what's going to happen, because new IPs open up a whole new world and the new tech that goes with it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what? I
UE5.
feel like the only thing I get excited for, like legitimately, I'm like, is like when I see a Marvel trailer because they've never let me down a few times, and like a Star Wars trailer. Like if I see anything Star Wars related, I'm the type of person like, listen, Episode 2 is an unwatchable and awful film, but everything else is just either good to just, oh my God, I forget about the world for an hour. It's great. And it's beautiful. Episode 5
7,
of
8, and 9 are terrible too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, man. It's great. It's just Star
And
Wars.
Solo should be burned and never showed again.
All right, you need to back off. It's great. That war, we actually got to see a war in a Star Wars. It was fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Just saw a guy get eviscerated. You're like, oh shit. You see an AT-AT at scale. You're like, oh my God, this is
Yeah, we
amazing.
saw that
See?
in
This-
episode 5 where Luke
it's
climbed
happening.
it.
It's happening, but not as cool. Not as cool, Jasper. Not
He
as
fucking circled
cool.
that thing and took it down.
You got the
better
Godzilla
than anything.
goddamn director that knows how to scale like a son of a gun, and I'm just seeing it, and it's beautiful.
He doesn't know
It's
how to make a damn
beautiful.
story.
Well, he's making Thundercats.
Take
isn't he?
that back.
That guy's making
Rogue
Thundercats.
One is terrific film.
Rogue One is the best out of the new. Yes, correct. It is the most Star Wars like. You are correct, Joe.
And then like we don't talk about Last Jedi, and I make my own ending to Rise of Skywalker, and everything's solid again. I'm just happy that Star Wars exists. My bar is so low that when I
Lego
watch Boba Fett, I'm just
Skywalker.
like,
I love that.
I'm excited that Boba Fett's there.
Yeah,
this is
me too.
awesome.
Episode 5 was the best
And
episode
Django.
so
And it's
far.
sad that
Not
he was.
in
It had
My
no
God.
Boba Fett.
Damn,
What the-
I could bring you in cold or I could bring you in warm. Like, God damn it.
But that
Fuck
just shows
yes.
you. That just shows you how much influence the Mandalorian has.
That's
How
what Boba
good
said
it
for
is.
me, a bounty hunter.
I know. I have problems
Read
with
that
Book of
super
Boba.
chat.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's, John Mark Louis.
Oh, no.
That's with the super chat of the night with the $2 super
Thank you,
chat.
John Mark Louis.
Sorry.
Says, get Kanye to interrupt Joe and take his mic away. Thank you, John Mark Louis. That's great. Now we love Joe. You know, Joe's a big part of the fam. It's great to hear like how the other side of this, all this stuff too. Because last week we had our big show about all of this, and we were talking about it from Xbox's perspective a lot, and this has large ramifications on the entire industry, and it's going to affect PlayStation's decisions on what they're going to do. Right? They have. I guarantee you, right afterwards, the next day or even that night, they were in a meeting on a Zoom call, being like, "Okay, we need to at least plan something to where we can get together and figure out how if we need to make any shifts or make any moves."
We saw a photo of Jim Ryan the next day. He was sitting in a chair drinking Jack Daniels. or
After
whatever.
he was done on his nighttime binge with his cigarette and his whiskey and his Game Pass for Dummies books on his chest, after he was done with that, he had his meeting. Like, all right, we need to regroup. and figure out exactly if we need to make any changes. Is Call of Duty going to remain as part of the PlayStation ecosystem in the future? How are we going to approach these negotiations once this deal goes through? And can we try and prevent this deal from going through? I guarantee you that was probably in their mindset as well, because they don't want it to happen. I guarantee you, you know? So, and as far as what their plans for Spartacus was, I think that was very good questions too, because as far as Spartacus goes, this could potentially actually have impact on what their plans are for Spartacus. So we don't know if it's massive changes or if there's just little nuanced changes, how many titles they bring day one versus don't. We do know that they've been making a lot of those acquisitions for infrastructure to help make more variety with their games, and also with porting their games to PC and all of this kind of stuff, right? So big changes there. And Xbox has been, whether anybody likes to admit it or not, Xbox is actually forcing the issue here and causing a lot of these changes. Now people can say this is bad, I don't want this, right? Subscription models are going to ruin gaming. You know, they're going to consolidate everything into this mediocre variety of just blah. I want my supreme $70 things, right? I've heard that argument, right? That's why I went before the show and I did that thing, is like ignoring the facts of all the stuff and the investment that Xbox has been having with all of these games, new IP they've been investing in, all of this stuff. It's like you can't make an argument for that in my opinion anymore. In fact, it's actually the opposite, where Game Pass and that whole model has actually changed them to actually put out better quality products and put less pressure on the developers. It has a lot of benefits. So I think it'll have benefits for PlayStation as well as they get that ball rolling, but it's going to take some time. So moving on from that, I want to get back to Blizzard a little bit here, because we started with talking about Blizzard, and again, 5,000 employees. Do we see them dividing that up and like allocating, like naming studios and saying, okay, you're going to be the Overwatch team, you're going to be the survival game team, you're going to be the this team, that team, this team, and just kind of really focusing those studios and restructuring things, because they seem like they're a mess, right?
Well, besides the HR issues, which I think will be the first thing sorted out, it has to be the first thing on at the top of the laundry list, right? Like, we got to get that shit together. Like, there's no way we can't continue to go forward with the way things are going with the HR and how everybody functions, just the company, how it works. So I think once they get that settled down, I think the one thing that we got to remember is that even once Xbox makes these purchases, they tend to leave these companies, like, you know, let them run autonomously, just let them kind of be creative and go on their own, and allow the people that work there to do, you know, what they're good at. And I don't think they're really going to change their strategy. Now, as far as divvying up the teams, there may be some restructuring. They're probably going to have to be, right? Like, you may want some people on some other projects, you know, that you may have some ideas. So, but I don't know what to degree. Maybe somebody else here on the panel will be able to break that down a bit better, in which they'll do that. Because I've even seen some people talking about, is it going to stay Blizzard, Activision Blizzard? Is it going to be Activision, you know, you're going to completely separate that all together, Activision, you know, plus, you know, and Blizzard, not synonymous with one another? Because some people think Activision being tied to Blizzard is a bad thing. You know, like, it's dragging Blizzard down, you know, as their brand essentially. So that's an interesting question too. But maybe once again, somebody else on the panel has a better idea of how that's all going to work.
Right on.
Well, it's just like Bethesda's ZeniMax. I'm sure they have their like ZeniMax head dude and their Bethesda head dude that they just go and talk to on Xbox to make their decisions. So
yeah, I definitely see with Activision and Blizzard, they're going to go through all the managers, everyone that's in that leading role, and they're going to go and talk to all the other developers, people within the company, and have a talk with them and see where the issues are lying. And then they're going to either get rid of people that are causing these problems and get that culture back where it's a good place to work and a good place where people can grow and thrive at, you know. And because that's Xbox's mission, is somewhere where there's a growing, thriving community within these teams where they're going to put out their heart and soul into their games and not fear that some a-hole that's above them is going to do something, do something to them, say something to them. And that's one thing with this whole Activision Blizzard, all this whole court thing that's going on. They have to stomp that out. They got to fix that. And I think Microsoft knows, and I think that's why Phil Spencer is going to take over leadership at the moment, figure out who's going to be in place, and then let them be on their own once they get the right people in those positions, and let them do what they need to do and thrive and grow as that team. So
yeah, man. I think sorry, I was getting distracted. I think there's gonna be a lot of cool shit, right, coming out of the restructuring and stuff that we'll see that'll help them. I wonder how big the survival game is, right? Like how much of the 5,000 plus people could be a part of that project, right?
Probably really small right now. That's why you probably see the blog posts. You want to get more people, more eyes on it.
Recruiting?
Absolutely.
Yeah. They've lost so much talent. They've lost so much.
But
they've been bleeding.
But they have 5,000 employees, right?
Correct.
So even if you have lost talent, like you still have like one of the biggest pools in gaming to pull from as far as talent as well, right?
But you've got huge teams for WoW, you've got huge teams for Diablo, and you got huge teams for Overwatch, right? And according to everybody, okay, so here's the deal. I think they separate Activision Blizzard. I think they do split those two.
I agree.
Because I think Activision is the bigger, everything needs to be fixed, right? Across the board, right? We know that in certain areas, everything needs to be fixed, culture-wise, all of it. However, as far as work to be done internally with the teams, you're going to separate Activision and you're going to break out those devs like Phil's already talked about, getting them off COD, the teams that want to get those people on new IP. So you're definitely going to have a lot of work there. With Blizzard, from everything that's being said, they have an impressive roadmap, right? And that's one of the things that Phil and everybody would have seen when they started this acquisition. Blizzard supposedly, and we're starting to hear about it, right? The survival game is one of those IP, but there's even more in the works. And so I think with Blizzard, I think that there's going to be some restructuring as that part of that roadmap, gets greenlit. And once the acquisition is through and they can really get down to business and say, okay, this is what we've got in the works. This is what we have planned out, year 3, year 4, whatever the case may be. And I think from there, they do break out some of the teams and figure out what they're going to do. Let's say they green light, World of Warcraft 2, right? Let's say, because that's somewhere in there. That's got to be somewhere in there. So then they'll go ahead and figure that part of it out with Blizzard. But right now, Blizzard's roadmap is pretty impressive, according to everybody that's kind of heard behind the scenes. Whereas Activision, because they have all these teams on Call of Duty, they really don't have roadmaps, right? So that's where your work is going to be done. And I think that's why you separate the two, have leadership for both of them. You're going to have to put somebody, let's just assume Ybarra stays over Blizzard, right? And he's reporting to Phil directly. Then you put somebody in place over the Activision, because that's going to be a lot of work. And they also report to Phil. And I think that's how you do that restructuring and kind of get things settled down. And obviously, again, as far as culture goes, like PTK said, the HR stuff, all that kind of stuff is going to have to be across the board. And that's going to be something that's going to be an ongoing kind of process. But to start out, I think that's how you kind of have to do it to get things in place where everybody kind of knows what they're doing from here on out once the acquisition goes through.
Right on.
Yeah.
Jean-Marc Louis, appreciate it. Another $2 super chat. He said, "Much love, Joe. Always nice to hear your takes."
Oh, thank you. You're real nice. I like that compliment.
What's crazy? You know what's crazy? We don't hear anything about King. Like, is King totally squeaky clean? Like, are they just like a little company off the side that nobody like? There was
makes the most money.
Right? They make more.
Yeah, they make the most money. They're the quiet
because
guys
no one cares about mobile games.
Yeah.
Right. But I know, but it's kind of funny how we never heard anything about King, right? So they're just going to be left completely alone. Just you guys keep doing Candy Crush. You're good.
Like 25 million players a week.
Yeah, 273 million people per
Where
month.
who's
month,
getting all
yeah.
the money now then?
Right.
You'll see little Game Pass ads and stuff like probably because you see ads to get like lives and all this stuff on the Candy Crush. There's gonna be some interesting like things probably, and Microsoft can use that if they really want to make a push into mobile gaming, which we know they do.
Well,
to
they
reach
do.
3
Mobile
billion,
Game Pass.
right? You're gonna see them really take advantage of the marketing aspect with Candy Crush, I bet. Because all those little ads that are reaching so many different people, when you're just trying to get more lives and all that kind of stuff, right now you're selling to like other mobile games, right? Microsoft can use that stuff to market their own mobile games and also Game Pass and also PC, the cloud, all of this stuff. I think it's
And we can't forget,
huge aspect.
we can't
They can
forget that
technically
Call
do
of
that
Duty
now.
mobile is huge as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call
My
of
son
Duty-
plays that all the time.
Bro, if they decide to
And-
port that over to the Switch, I'm telling you.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's Tencent
don't-
and someone else that makes that. So they
They
just
do,
license
but-
the Call of Duty
Forget
IP, I think.
Everybody's going on about console and COD and all this crap, but don't forget that 80% of the market is what Xbox are aiming for at the moment, which is mobile, PC, laptops, tablets, all of that. That's what they're working towards at the moment. That was their main aim in taking Activision Blizzard. And then after that, they'll come back to console about it. They're not that bothered about console at the moment. It's sorting itself out. It's running smoothly. They're after the mobile PC market.
Yeah.
And people are forgetting that. All the stuff
they get
on
all
Twitter
three.
is, it's
Yeah.
all about the...
Well, of
it's
course, because
not.
Call of Duty is one of the biggest franchises of all time. So of course, that's going to take the
Mm.
focus. But you're right. You're right, Luke, because we have talked about that this was the perfect acquisition as far as Microsoft goes, because they get all three pieces of the puzzle
Yeah.
that they've
And
been
also
looking
they get that company, I've forgotten the name of it off the top of my head, that ports to PC, which is massive for them.
You talking about Demonware?
Think so. One of them anyway. They got
Demon-
one studio that
No,
does,
Demonware works on
20
the
years.
online
No,
stuff,
not
right?
no, not Demonware.
Yeah.
It begins with B.
Multiplayer.
It's
Nox?
Bnox.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's that one that's 20 years they've been doing it, and they do really good ports to PC and stuff. So that's really massive for them with the cloud and everything. Game Pass. I mean, they're pushing at the moment PC Game Pass. So they want a lot of games in there. Like
Yeah,
they have on
mobile
console.
Game Pass.
And we got
Yeah, and mobile Game Pass.
something with Sega there too. I mean, like with PC.
I think the
Let's
next
give up the
acquisition will
chase on
probably be-
Sega.
No, hold on,
No,
Joe.
Sega.
They
just
just sold out
closed
their
them.
arcades.
I'm not
I don't
talking
give
about
a
an
shit.
acquisition. I'm not talking
Let's stop
acquisition.
caring about Sega. Let's just stop.
Why?
I'm
Why? They
caring-
have a ton.
I'm caring
Creative
about
Assembly.
day
Come on.
one Game Pass games.
Yeah,
Right?
I'd
Oh,
want them for
all right.
creative assembly.
So, all right, if you're familiar with the
Get
game
them.
2 Point Hospital, that was a very
Hospital.
popular mobile
The Game
game.
Pass.
Also, 2 Point
Yep.
2 Point Campus is coming to Game Pass day one, and also PC Game Pass. That's going to be a very popular game published by Sega. Also, we know that late last year they announced Total War Warhammer 3 is
Huge.
coming to PC Game
Huge.
Pass day one. Okay, so everybody that was saying, "Hey, this partnership with Sega or whatever, it's not going to have any fruits." Already 2 day one Game Pass games announced since that.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with that deal, though.
Joe.
Game by game basis.
And
Oh.
the partnership's grown; it's grown stronger. I mean,
All right.
they're putting more games in the Game Pass day one. That's all. The evidence is out
Joe
there.
is so unbothered, man. It's so
Yeah,
crazy.
I know. Until Persona comes.
It's
Just
No,
like another
even
side note on
dude,
the
I got
Activision deal.
45 minutes into Persona 5. I still like, because we're trying to play it for the podcast. I still almost fell asleep. I am unfazed. Like, I take a look at Sega's catalog and I'm like,
Yeah.
I get it. That's an impressive catalog back in 2004.
No.
They got
We live
Company
in the modern
Heroes
time.
3 coming.
False.
They got
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
That is the only game I could actually care about for that. Company Heroes is fantastic. The rest, Crazy Taxi, it's just now called Crazy Uber. It's just a guy that talks way too much while you're trying to go to
Sonic
I don't know, your
Frontiers, man.
convention
Come on,
center.
open world Sonic zones. Let's go.
Let's
Yeah.
stop pretending Sonic has been good since 2006.
This is
Oh
what we
my
had
God, not
been.
that
Oh,
bloody
God.
dang blue hedgehog
That's
again.
Right? I'm
Yeah.
This is
tired
what
of
we've all
him.
been asking for. A
Oh,
bigger
gotta go
budget
fast.
Sonic
It's like-
game.
I've
Oh.
been sent pictures now of Sonic giving
I saw that.
Mario anal. I mean, and then a new Sonic. I'm like, no, not on my timeline. Go away, you assholes. Keep the blue hedgehog to yourself.
Kate loves Sonic. Caitlin loves
I
Sonic.
hate the little blue shit.
SpongeBob.
We need to find a Sonic taking advantage of Link and send it to you.
No,
Oh my God.
no.
Yeah.
And anyway, Mario wouldn't have it.
What were you going to say, Jasper, about the?
I was just gonna
Activision?
say, like a side note on the Activision deal, like Call of Duty is like the biggest game, so like just thinking about all the infrastructure behind that runs it that Microsoft's now acquiring. So like we'll see like back end stuff that like people aren't even thinking about. Like
Correct.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
A bunch of crazy
absolutely.
tech.
I wonder, like, I mean,
Demonware
the
is one of
infrastructure.
them.
I mean, even with the amount of employees, right? That's a different level of infrastructure there. Even with HR resources, all that, all those people, right? That's a huge deal, you know, because they're
A lot of undertaking too.
yeah, and they're gonna have to really do this right because everybody's gonna be watching, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All eyes on
yeah.
Microsoft right now after this acquisition. All eyes because of COD. COD's bringing all the eyes onto them right now because of that, you know. So they got to do it right. Like, to me, I don't really care if they keep COD multiplayer or not. It's the rest of the IPs and games that are going to be coming out of those studios that are going to lure people to
the
Microsoft.
creative potential out of it.
Ooh, look, yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh, Xbox has COD. It's still multiplayer, but Xbox has it. Oh, they're bringing this out, this out, this out, this out. I'm like, oh shit, I can get all that for $10, $15 with Game Pass. Oh fuck, all right.
Yeah.
that's the thing.
And it's not just this though; it's also those third-party deals that they keep making, right? Like with the publishing side, you know, because it's not okay. So they're purchasing Activision Blizzard. They got the certain affinity thing that seems to be happening. The IO interactive thing that seems to be happening. You got Contraband from Avalanche, right? You got that Shaolin, like Wu-Tang Clan game that's supposed to be happening. These are all new IP, right? I mean, it's pretty insane to think about where all that's going. And there's also rumors of other stuff that we haven't heard about. I want to get to this super chat real quick. John TJ, $5. Appreciate it. Sir, again, thank you so much. He said, if Sony was to buy someone in response to Microsoft deal, do you think they go get EA to go get Battlefield? No.
No,
I don't think
Not
so.
selling.
No,
I don't
not
want.
at
And,
all.
no, EA is gonna sell eventually. It's gonna happen.
I think they'll do a merger with somebody, like more like a
Merger.
Take-Two,
I don't
EA,
want
or-
any of that.
Ubisoft EA would be a good one.
Yeah.
I don't want anything.
There was
of
this
that nature.
someone put out on Twitter that Sony is in talks with EA. That's what that was.
Oh, is it the Foxy guy that's
Come
like
on,
a
come
big
on.
dumb fucking
I don't-
idiot?
I don't know. I don't
All right.
know. It was
Joe,
just
you
like-
have so many good Sony insiders on your side.
Yeah,
It's great.
I
It's
guess.
just
I mean,
amazing.
again, under that desk, you hear so much. It's a hollow oak. It's a hollow oak. Not a lot of people know that.
See, supposedly.
No, I don't want them to buy EA, man. I don't like. Here's the thing. Like, after this, I'm like, please enough. I don't want any of this.
It's a terrible match.
I don't. It's not even a match. It's just like, I'd rather Sony take that money that they were going to spend on EA and just throw it back into themselves. Get the Cadillac of developers out there. Just get them more Cadillacs.
So you
Like,
want it to be
feel
more
you, bro. I
organic.
get it.
You want it to be more
Yeah.
organic. Yeah.
Yes. I want it, dude.
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've
No,
acquired,
I
what
just-
about the other studios they've all acquired?
Well,
no
that's the thing.
names?
I want
Dog,
to
dog.
see them acquire companies that they've had. When I think of organic growth, which is like it's like a Twitter term.
Yeah.
When I think of their growth when it comes to their studios, it has to be studios that they've had a long relationship with, right? Like that's the type of, like when I see a Blue Point, it's like that doesn't take away anything from anyone. They've had a great relationship with Blue Point for decades now. That's awesome. Housemarque has been a great partner with them for decades. Before they bought Sucker Punch, they were partners for decades. Look at Insomniac, right? And I like what the Backlog Chronicles said, and I really dug this. When they bought Insomniac did not own many IP. Like they owned like a Sunset Overdrive, they owned Fuse. They paid $229 million for the people, for the talent at Insomniac. They didn't buy any IP that they wanted to use. They just know that studio is that great and they have that great of a relationship. Go out there. That's what I want to see when I see acquisitions. You could call it organic, you could call it whatever. I want to see them purchase really talented devs that haven't had the best luck. That's like when I think of, still to this day, my favorite acquisitions out of Microsoft have been Ninja Theory and Obsidian, because those are two really awesome developers that never got the financial backing that I feel like, and I think we all can agree about this,
I love Obsidian.
that they deserved, or the chance that they deserved. Go out there and
In Exile as well.
Yeah.
Compulsion has a chance.
Compulsion.
And
Double
Undead
Fine.
Labs. Undead
Double
Labs.
Fine.
Double Fine. Again, a great team.
Organic.
A great team.
Oh, yeah.
Organic.
But that's the problem, Joe. That's the whole problem with this conversation. That's the whole
What?
problem. Because again, everybody leaves those out. Like those acquisitions weren't done. And that is the entire problem, because they just
But like
I know.
again, that's Twitter, right? Twitter says this, and
I
Twitter says a lot of
understand
dumb
that. I
shit
understand
and
that, but
puts
we
a lot of
shouldn't
dumb
even
side by
have this
side.
conversation.
It's
I
not, it's
still
not
want-
just Twitter.
I-
A lot of shows, a lot of podcasts.
I want
a lot of
Sony to go
media.
out and make one major purchase. Okay, I want Sony to go and make one major purchase. I think that I think that they should.
Square would be like their
Square
They
Enix.
have-
perfect storm. Square
Yes.
Enix.
Yeah.
Would be their
And that's the
perfect
only
storm.
one that I would feel remotely okay with because of their relationship with each other.
But why
Right,
does
like
it have
I-
to have a relationship?
Because
Joe?
I like when
No, but they've
people are
done
going
plenty of that.
steady.
But they've done it plenty. They've done it plenty. They're allowed to go out and get somebody else. That shouldn't downplay how you feel about it.
I mean, I
business.
definitely think they're gonna go out there and acquire more because they have to. I don't think it's like,
But take two.
look, as long as GTA stays multi-plat, I'm good. And like that's the thing, is like with us on the trophy room, like we've stated it, and it is like we just love the games and the devs, and as long as they're safe and happy, great. But like when it comes to like now we're taking this away from us, it kind of seems like a vindictive thing. It's like, well, you took this from me, so
Yeah.
I'm taking this from
See,
you.
I don't think.
I heard
and I
that
just don't like
abandoned
it.
game needs some help. You want to go acquire them?
Here's the thing.
As the PR guy,
SL.
Jasper, that guy makes me want to
Silent
yell the
Hill.
C word into my shirt.
I know.
Be organic.
Very organic.
No, that's wheatgrass organic. I don't want that shit. No.
So here's the thing. I think for a lot of, there are those Xbox fans, and they're like, yeah, fuck Sony, we got them back. We're gonna take this shit away from them to get them back for everything that they've done. There's those guys, right? But then there's people like everybody here on this show that's like, okay, what is best for us as the consumer overall?
Yeah.
Right? And also for the place we prefer to play, but also for the studios, right? In all of these situations, I think that Xbox has been involved in with these acquisitions. All three of those boxes have been checked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the consequence of potentially PlayStation gamers not being able to play some of these games is really inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, because the barrier for entry into the Xbox ecosystem is so low. All people have to do is bite the bullet and swallow their damn stupid pride and say, it's okay to own an Xbox. It's okay to play in the Xbox ecosystem instead of being seeing it as like some
You
like
just triggered somebody with that. No.
it's for real though. They see it as this like, oh, it's like it's not cool to be on Xbox. It's not cool. Like I got PlayStation. It's where I got my $70 AAA bangers. Yeah, man. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna spend shit tons of money because it's the best way to do it, and I love it because it's top quality and because they told me so. Right?
Why does he sound like fucking Longhorn?
I don't know. I'm here in Kentucky, and I do declare PlayStation's the best place to play games because there's $70 and the $500 for the console.
That's right.
So admitting that, hey, this other ecosystem has stuff of value to me,
Yeah.
And it costs me very little to enter into that ecosystem. Is all that we need to say. Plus, it's also better for the devs, and it's also better for game variety coming out. It's better for everybody, because guess what? These people that hate it so much, guess what? They can go and they can spend $15 and play the damn games, and they don't have to spend the $70 now. They can, they're going to get more games, right? Like, it's just so much benefit to everybody as a gamer overall with what has happened in these situations. I'm not saying the Xbox go buy everybody, right? But the attack that they've gotten from a lot of the mainstream and also other like podcasts and other shows and stuff are ignoring all of these facts that have been out there about how this is good for multiple people. And it would be okay for me if PlayStation had been the ones that had somehow made a deal for Activision Blizzard. I would have personally been celebrating that it wasn't Tencent, it wasn't EA, it wasn't Facebook, it wasn't any of these places.
It's meta, sir. It's meta now.
Whatever the fuck it is.
Meta bloody verse.
I would be absolutely happy about that because I think it would be overall good for gamers, right? And I think that if people could just swallow their pride and like admit that there's stuff to play other places and it's okay, then a lot of the sting gets taken off, right? And I don't want to hear that shit. Well, I can only afford one box, right? If you can only afford one box, then obviously, clearly, the best place to play is Xbox. Period, because you're going to give you the most bang for your buck anyway. So, just saying. Got a super chat from Army Vet, $5. Appreciate it, sir. He says, "Is it true Sony bought Epic Games for $35.6 billion?"
No, that was a prank going around, Army Veteran. If you click on the link, it says you've been pranked. So yeah, no, that was a joke going around. Somebody started that.
So Kate thinks Take-Two is going to get acquired at some point.
So
she's been.
I think they're all going to get.
She's
acquired
persistent
at
about
one point.
this. Do you think, babe? Do you think that would happen? Do you think Sony could end up doing it? Right? No, it's Xbox. You're 100% on that.
Yeah.
She's so sold on this. But would that start? Can Xbox make another huge acquisition, right? After this, can they do another major publisher, right? I don't know.
Why not?
End of 2023, they're going to buy Take-Two.
Because you got the regulators are probably going to be asking questions and all this stuff already, right?
I mean, I don't know if they legally can. I don't know the rules are with that. I don't know how much Take-Two's worth.
At this point, like around 30?
30
because it just bought Zynga. I'm not gonna
30 billion.
Yeah,
30. There was like 35 billion, but yeah, I don't know. Like me, I really don't see. About all the studios out there, Take-Two is not one of those studios I would want to get.
Out of all the publishers that Microsoft purchased, I'm surprised it wasn't Ubisoft because they seem like they're on fire.
Oh, that's coming. Ubisoft
that family does not want to sell. So.
No, but I'd rather see like
the Guillermos,
Capcom. I'd rather see.
I think WB is the only potential, just because of the
I'd rather see.
And WB would sell its
all
studios.
this rubbish about Microsoft have got to spend 60 billion before the end of the fiscal year is a complete load of trash.
I agree with that.
Well, it's not a load of trash.
It is.
No, it's not a load of trash.
Taxes.
They don't have to, but they're losing money, Lupa, they are losing money right now.
Nah.
That's why people assume it's going to be spent because they are losing money on that cash.
Well, but they don't. The legalese say
they don't
because
always
of
get rid of
the
all
legal
of their
beavers.
cash
Don't say
they're not going to give themselves $0.
Well, exactly.
Right.
So they had like 150 billion. Right. They spent half. Okay.
Yes.
So they got 75 billion left.
And it's not set aside for gaming.
Right.
There's a lot of other industries they're into. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. People are thinking they're going to acquire other big acquisitions.
Nothing's happening for 2 years.
Straight on the back. It's not going to happen. This deal is going to be sorted out by June 2023.
That other 60 billion is going to go to like companies that make like AI research, stuff like that.
Yeah, it'll go to making games and paying devs and studios.
If it goes
and all
anywhere
that shit
at this point,
mocap and
Yeah, they don't have
Yeah.
to spend anything, but they are
No.
losing money.
No, but
Yes.
I've heard people on Twitter saying, and in podcasts saying, "Oh, they've got this 60 bit. They're going to lose money if they don't use it. They've got to buy something else. They got to." No, they haven't.
Well,
That's rubbish.
They're not going to leave themselves with zero in cash, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's what
They
people
have
are
to-
thinking, actually.
not
And
how
I'm like, that's not how it
businesses
goes. They're not
That's
going to
not-
go and
that's not how
drain
it
their
works.
entire reserves.
It's not a bloody
Right.
franchise, is it? It's like
No.
They do have to dump off certain amount of money so they don't have to go pay taxes on it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's-
Well,
But
and-
they'll
and
do it in
inflation
a
is
different way.
killing
I
it.
think,
So
Psycho.
that's where it's
Yeah.
really
The value of the
But-
money actually goes down the
Yeah,
longer you
yeah.
hold it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the thing is that what I'm trying to get at is people that were saying that, oh, they got to make acquisitions, they got to spend the money. No,
Oh.
they haven't. They will
That's-
use it
Mhm.
internally elsewhere, is what I
and
was
they're-
trying to say.
I mean, there could be other deals that we don't know about that are being that are going on right now that we don't know about. Like, you know,
Yeah.
maybe a Warner Brothers or something else, you know, maybe a Capcom
Take
or
two.
no. But it could be going on. And
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to get take two. There you
No,
go.
They could have had a deal on the table, Psychonauts, to your point, but this Activision Blizzard came up and it
They had
was
to
done
jump
within
on
a
it.
matter of months. That
They had to-
pushes
Mm.
everything else out of the way. This is a
Yeah.
once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yes.
This is a once in a lifetime
And
opportunity
I
because
because of
agree with
everything that
Because
was going on.
no, yeah,
governments-
exactly.
governments around the world, not just the United States, are starting to hone in on tech giants the likes of Microsoft, Apple, and Facebook because their power and influence is getting to Blade Runner like levels.
But what's
Where,
funny is
like-
Microsoft is actually out of that spotlight, Joe, because they don't have anything to do with social media right now. And they're not
Right.
controlling any of it, which is
Like,
crazy.
When it
They're
comes to
kinda-
Walmart, they were debating putting Walmart on. Oh fuck! I forget what type of world stage they had, but like they're like Walmart has its own literal world economy. That's how big that company is, and so governments are kind of starting to look at these big corporations, going, "This is getting concerning." That's why when I talk about consolidation, I'm talking much bigger picture. Is just like we're running into a situation where literal corporations have the power of governments. So like that's why you're seeing them
Correct.
take a look at these deals and go and scrutinize them, going, okay, so what's really going on here? We need
Or at
to,
least put on the facade of scrutiny.
yeah,
Put it
and
that way, 'cause
and
they're all in bed together.
oh yeah, and they're very handsy. But like that's why you even get the debate of like breaking up Facebook and Instagram and all that shit.
Right.
Yeah. So
I
I
think-
truly feel like this is the last major acquisition we're seeing for Microsoft in terms of publishers.
But the
For a
question
while.
is, do we see some of these smaller the smaller teams potentially still happen?
I would.
Oh
I
yeah.
agree with Spooky. I would love to see Xbox attain or acquire, as they put it, Azobo, because they're
yeah.
an amazing team. What they
Asobo
did
doesn't
with
want
no
to, though.
money,
Yeah.
but no, they don't want to. But they are in bed with Xbox. Otherwise, Plague's
Yeah.
Tale Requiem would
It'd
come
be
becoming
organic.
straight to Game Pass.
It would be
like
a
Plague's
completely
Tale.
organic. A flight
Yeah,
sim, you know.
Exactly.
Um,
I mean, they are in bed with Xbox, but it would be nice because I think they're a team that absolutely deserves the money back in them, and
Yeah.
what they do is amazing.
Yeah.
And I've never played Flight Sim, by the way.
But they'll
But
get
Plague's Tale was outstanding for the
But they
amount of
can
money they had.
they can stay independent and get the financial backing still from
Yeah.
Microsoft,
Which
if-
is
when-
what they're doing by going
when
into
they
Game Pass.
publish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So
And again, when I say like I don't think we're seeing like an EA deal. What I think we're seeing out of Microsoft is like the what is it, the critical acclaim, whatever that studio we were just talking about.
certain affinity.
Certain Affinity.
Certain Affinity. Oh, why did I pull out an Avenged song? But like, yeah, Certain Affinity, like IO, those type of acquisitions, the ones I really would like, because I think those studios are probably gonna get scooped up. A lot of these, the thing is, guys, a lot of these publishers, developers, they're gonna start getting scooped up by companies that think they can buy their way into it.
Yeah.
So
Amazon.
Amazon,
Tencent.
Apple,
Netflix.
Netflix, they're
Yeah.
all taking a look at this and going, yeah, we want a piece. So like,
And someone's got to be a target at the end of the day and not be relevant anymore.
yeah,
Oof.
Yeah,
scary.
I mean that was Google.
Yeah.
Scary. They're still,
Stadia.
don't count them out. I know that sounds
Nah.
crazy.
I know, but they
They are weird.
don't have that one major IP.
But and
like
that's the
Amazon
thing.
has
So
got with that New World.
and that's the thing that like really does scare me is like these. Now I'm just talking out of here.
It
Like,
scares Xbox too. That's actually
Oh,
Phil's
yeah.
comments. He doesn't want those other tech companies being involved in the gaming space because they don't understand it. But he's comfortable with Sony and Nintendo right now because he knows that they won't do anything to damage the gaming industry.
Like what CLoWnZ said, Tencent is already buying everything before everyone else.
Yeah.
That concerns me. It should concern you. This is a
Yeah, it
company that
does.
does not speak to anybody but the Chinese, the People's Party of China, like that government.
They
You
are
know, it-
definitely underhand and deceitful and scary.
Yeah, and what those devs can do right now may be great, but what they can say in the future is going to be limited. That does freak me out.
Me too.
It's
It
very.
always has
Be
ever
very
Also,
heavily
like if you play
expensive.
those games, like what kind of information are they going to start taking from you? Like,
Yeah, that sort of thing.
They're taking your
Yep.
face.
Mm.
I saw that one
Now they're
report. I'm like,
taking
nuts.
voice actors' voices, aren't they, and everything, and saying it's okay. Like next
Nuts.
thing we'll be hearing Psychonaut's voice on some bloody gamer, like I don't know, person in a game, and he'll be like, "How's that happen? Because they stole it, Psycho. They stole your voice. Can't do
No.
a thing about it."
And he'll show up one day. He's like, Psycho, can you not speak? What's your voice? They stole it.
They stole
Tencent
it.
sold it.
They bought it
Have
for
voice.
1.2 billion.
Well, the NFTs say that he can. It's all right. You've got no argument against it.
Yeah.
Ubisoft's still going with it. They're
Yep.
like,
Oh,
we don't
God.
understand. We're stupid. They know better. No Ubi. All right, guys.
Get in there.
Terrible
Ruby.
response, but they're right. A
They're
lot of
gonna
people don't
fuck up
understand
Assassin's
it. So
Creed and every other game
To
that
be
I
real.
love,
Yep.
and smile while they're doing it. The bloody swines.
I don't know
Fuck
what
NFTs.
most people think NFTs are. I do.
No one knows what they are, man.
No, I mean it's some load.
There's-
of
it used to be
business
like the joke, like
blurb.
no one understands the cloud. Now it's no one understands NFTs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
it's
I've heard a
pretty,
lot of relevant points on that stuff. So it's for me. I just don't want it all over gaming like crazy. But we'll see what happens
because-
and how it's implemented because it's gonna happen.
And what's
Right.
going to happen is you're going to take a game, and then that's going to be like like you're mining for special rare items to sell, and that's
I
and
just
that's
just-
one way to do it. Yes.
why can't they
and
just
that's-
leave gaming alone in that respect? All these business people always
money.
got to
It's
stick their oar in,
fucking money.
and they got to make
Fucking
things complicated, and they got to be
Money.
greedy, and I hate it.
money.
And it's like they're going to
Money.
change gaming as we know it, and I'm too.
And
old
that is
for
the that thing that freaks me out too. Like the one thing that worried me with the Xbox buying out Activision, because like right now, like Phil Spencer's like, yeah, I don't see NFTs being worth it at the moment in November, and then with the announcement, they talk about the metaverse like 5 times in that statement. I'm like, oh boy,
But their metaverse is totally
Yeah.
different than what the
I pray to-
metaverse-
Microsoft
I
is
pray
gonna be
to
making
God.
money off
It
NFTs.
is,
They're gonna be
it
making it off
is.
the back end. That's where Microsoft's gonna make the money off all
I
that.
swear to God,
You're
I
all
hope
right.
it
Let's
is.
go back to Pong as the
All right,
only
please.
console, and let's go back to pinball machines. And let's just go back.
No,
Let's
I'm not-
screw
Such a
all
simpler
this.
time.
Screw
No,
big
I'm
business.
not talking about
I
that.
don't want big
I
business
like
anymore. I don't
gaming
want
as
money.
it is.
Let's get rid of it.
It's
Let's get
Okay,
rid of all of
boomer.
it.
Boomer.
just the thought of it. It's just horrible.
No, it's
Um,
not.
It is. Just because you're a money grabbing little long dong.
No,
You're not
no,
all
I
like
don't want it that way, but that doesn't mean somebody can't come
He's
up
a
with a
money
great
grabber.
idea that actually works.
Somebody
Can't
is
dismiss
that
Fine,
is
but
true.
don't
Somebody-
practice it on gaming.
Can't dismiss everything just because.
I can't believe how much I'm agreeing with Pong this episode. It's nuts. Absolutely.
What
wild.
is wrong with you, Joe? You're gonna let me down now. Nobody agrees. with
We're
Tom.
gonna see the outcome of that over time, and I think it's gonna be up to the people to really be vocal about what they like, what they don't like, and at that certain situations when they arise, right? And we don't know what those situations are gonna be yet. We had some already start to show up with like the whole Troy Baker thing and that announcement, and then we had the Stalker 2 announcement.
How's he doing?
It seems he's okay. I think.
No, look
You'll
him
be
up.
just
Yeah.
fine, Joe. Nobody has to worry about Troy Baker.
The Stalker 2 thing, then there was like the Ubisoft's all over the news, and they're saying, hey, everything's gonna be fine, guys, trust us. You just don't understand it. you know.
And this is like before this like whole NFT stuff started, like this year, pretty much. Like, there's been a lot of smaller indie games where like you play the game and you earn cryptocurrency off of it. That just no one's ever talked about it because cryptocurrency wasn't like that big of a thing. So
exactly, and that's what scares me is all. You just know that they're like government. You never know the truth. You never hear the truth. You only hear what they want you to hear, and that's where it gets scary. And it's like, yeah, but you're not explaining it properly for people to understand. And then when you are, it's still vague and people don't understand.
That's because you need to take a whole like 6-week course on NFTs to understand
it.
Yeah,
exactly.
You can't just understand it.
You got to understand blockchain was a whole different.
I know, but
God,
it's like,
beast.
But they are so, these business people now are just so, we don't give a shit about anybody. We're just going to do it. And if you don't like it, tough. And there's nothing you could do about that. And it's just like politicians. It's all this spin doctoring rubbish. If they were straight and up front and we knew exactly what's going on,
you could argue
then
they're being more transparent now, because like if you look at like what they did with like cell phones, they didn't tell you what they were taking when you like signed up for cell phone stuff. They took all your data. They didn't tell you any of that. At least they're telling us now that, hey, we're doing something. Like, so like you could say they're more transparent now.
If you read the small print, you did know.
No one reads that.
Not originally.
Well, I did.
Not originally. There was no small print. At least over here. At least over here.
Over here, yeah.
Maybe over the EU.
A lot of the companies and stuff were in bed with the government doing a lot of stuff and exchanging private information and stuff. And it was not disclosed.
Point. It's also bitty and disguised, and that's what I don't like about it. I'm too old to put up with that crap.
But hey, YouTube is going to implement NFTs, so look out for that new fun speculation NFT coming out in a couple months. It's going to be great.
Twitter just did that. You get your own NFT emblem now.
Oh, really?
Get in early. You can get an NFT of my face on Caitlin's little square there for $5,000. I'll give you my Venmo, and you will have an NFT.
Yeah. That's not how that works. You need Ethereum or something.
That's how my NFTs are going to work. Okay.
And that is why I steal the fancy spoons at Hula Hands.
Yeah. Right.
That's why.
And that is why I do my rewards and never pay for Game Pass.
Exactly. Just
ultimate.
Pays for itself.
I pass all that, get everything you can get now free because it's not going to be there for long. They're going to take it all away. Oh my God.
Well, that's
how I am always.
This is a very interesting show.
It was.
Talked about the main topic on the title for about 5 minutes.
We did. That's about it. I really wanted to dive into this.
It's better than usual, Jasper.
You know, I have a lot of hope for that game, the survival game from Blizzard. It seems like the employees are excited about it. From what we've heard, I think it's got a lot of potential because everything that Blizzard has created in the past has turned into gold.
Mm-hmm.
Has it though?
Pretty much. Even Diablo 3, when it launched, it launched in a horrible state. And back then, their version
Heroes of the Storm, I would argue, is not gold.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people.
They got some dings,
right?
Yeah, they got some dings.
Yeah.
And I think that a new IP from Blizzard is reason to be excited about. One more reason to be excited about the future of this deal, right? Because already the argument of no new IPs coming, all this stuff is already out the window, right? But hey, we had a lot of fun tonight, guys. It was fun to see, Joe under the table with Jem, getting his ears held.
Yeah.
And it was great.
That's what Joe calls an executive position.
Yeah.
True.
And while he's down there, he's saying, baby. "Can you teach me NFTs?"
Could you make Bloodborne 2? Love of God, Jim.
Bloodborne 2. Now, if that's
just like, just shut up. That's what he says. I'm like, all right, Jim. I love him anyway.
Hey, but by the way, just real quick, when are we going to see the announcement for Spartacus?
Oh, probably March. I think some people are saying February. I don't. I think March or between March and May. I think it's happening. It makes
sense for the state of play, though. Are they going to have a state of play for sure in February? Do you think, Joe, or no?
Yeah. I think at worst we're gonna have one final look at Horizon, right?
Oh, God. Do we need any more looks? Oh,
I don't know. I've seen enough, but I'll see more. I don't care.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But yeah.
Whoever does their like marketing stuff needs to work on that because like that 1, 2, 3 event was like,
Man,
They just need to
dude,
stop copying and pasting animations. So,
Dude, real
whatever.
talk. I gotta, as the PR in me, I got rants about what they can do better. And that's a start.
But yeah, guys, PTK had to bounce early. His wife wasn't feeling well. So he put that in our chat when I was on I think a rant. So I didn't see it at the time. But shout out to PTK and thanks to him for joining us tonight. And hey, make sure everybody checks out Shot Podcast tomorrow night. That's on PTK's channel. The link is in the description on his name below. So check that out again. That Pong is on that show. Our buddy Fuzzy Belvedere is also on that show. Centurion. I don't know if Centurion will be there tomorrow, but I know he had some bad stuff just happened recently with.
Oh man!
So shout out to him. But so check that out, guys. PTK Blam's channel, Shot Podcast. One of the like podcasts out there that just like super consistent. He does a great job running the show. It's very even killed thoughts across the board, and he deserves more numbers than he gets for that channel. It's just absolutely insane for that podcast. I don't understand it personally, but give him a shout, drop a like, check that show out tomorrow. And Joe,
yeah,
you've had a lot of interesting people in the chat really having some interesting takes on some of your comments tonight.
Oh God, were there some of them positive at least?
There was a couple, I think, maybe
right.
one or two.
Don't
nice.
lie to him. Don't lie to him.
Thank God.
So,
right.
but
at least I
dude,
got a few.
Super appreciate you being here as always. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
Sorry, I talked too much, guys. You guys had a lot of
It's a
good
curse.
questions.
It's okay.
You know,
Wait, we directed everything at you, Joe. What you're supposed to do?
that is true.
No, I plead the fifth. You should have just pled the fifth the entire time. I plead the fifth.
I played the fifth. I can't say anything.
I love having you on here though, man. I think it's
Thanks, man.
I think
Likewise.
it's a great time anytime you hop in with us.
Yeah.
And besides under Jim's desk, where else can everybody find you?
Oh man, I can't wait till that one spreads around.
Oz.
As Jim's little boy. What's that,
Spreads
Caitlin?
around.
No, there is no pause there, Caitlin.
Pause.
Yeah.
Jim does not allow him to pause.
Something spreading.
Jim doesn't allow him to pause.
you spreading?
You'll keep going. You'll keep going. You
do
can
do
find
ask
me.
for PS Games Day 1 when you're doing it? I'm just asking.
Oh no, I'm just, you know what? I'm just glad to be invited.
What?
Just happy I'm there, you know?
This is great.
Yeah.
I don't even need anything.
It's like, why is Miyamoto there watching? He's not even from PlayStation. It's weird. But, you know, they're all in on it.
Hey guys,
Anyway.
for goodness sake, for the third time, Demonic Furby has put in the chat, Doom Guy versus Quake Guy versus Duke Nukem, who would win?
Oh, okay. Duke
Okay.
Nukem, 100%.
Doom.
Doom
Doom.
guy.
Doom guy.
Doom Guy, without a doubt.
Who the fuck is Quake Guy?
He's that.
Is
Doom
there an
Guy's
actual
cousin.
Quake Guy?
He's a lesser Doom guy.
Yeah, he's a lesser Doom Guy.
I'm the only one that thinks Duke Nukem.
I
No.
love Quake though, so I
I
got Quake
know.
4 on the way.
I would say Duke.
I'm
I'm
in.
with you with Duke Nukem.
Chew
No way.
bubblegum and kick some ass.
I have a
Duke Nukem's
hatred
just
for
a
Duke
dude.
Nukem.
I
Dude,
love.
hold
I
on,
love-
though.
I just couldn't get that game used to
You
drive
don't
me
like
nuts.
Duke Nukem, Joe?
I
It's
don't
a
either.
GameStop memory. It's a bad
Yeah.
GameStop memory. Do you know how many
10 years
balls of
for
steel
me.
editions we had at GameStop? We had like 60 balls of steel edition of the Duke Nukem. We could not sell.
Duke Nukem
We
Forever.
couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the balls of steel edition. It's fucking so stupid.
Yeah, I
I try
gotta
to push
say,
that on people to get out of the goddamn store.
people need to out there stop naming their games, like Forever, Infinite, you know, ever, like ever.
You don't like
even
Halo?
everyone-
The Halo?
Horizon.
No, it's just like they always run into long development issues. Like it's like a curse. If you put Forever at the end, like Duke Nukem Forever took forever, right? Halo Infinite took an infinite amount of time to come out.
You need to do eternity. Eternity needs to be
Everwild.
used more.
Like Everwild, where's Everwild? You know, it's not
Never
putting-
coming out.
Putting anything that has stop putting anything that has a longevity aspect in your
Well,
in your name.
Spartacus is rumored to be called PlayStation Infinite.
That would be a dumb name.
That would be a stupid name.
Assassin's Creed Infinite.
I saw the
that
bad
needs to be put to
PNG.
bed quickly.
Yeah, please. Oh God.
Please do it.
Anyway, you can find me over at the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. Where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. You know, this month has been huge for us. We've had a really awesome guest, John McLaren from the voice of Star-Lord. We have some other cool voice actors jumping in the next few months as well. And we've had some terrific episodes about the situation here where we talk at length about a PlayStation perspective and hopefully not the, the toxic ones you see. So yeah, check us out, the Trophy Room. We're doing two really cool things. So, we are on Apple and Spotify platforms first and foremost. And what we're doing currently is if you drop us a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts, you at me at Mr. Badbit, you get it entered to win a copy of Horizon Forbidden West Deluxe Edition. And as well as if you rate us 5 stars on Spotify, you get entered to win a copy of the Elden Ring on your platform of choice. So go ahead, go out there, do all those things that greatly help us out. Again, follow the show there, or you can follow the video version of the show, The Trophy Room, on YouTube. So again, thank you guys for all the questions, because it was a nice little hardball. I had to think on the spot and stuff. It was nice.
Yeah. I didn't like some of your answers. I'm just kidding.
Also, to note, in February, we're looking to be the biggest Trophy Room downloads ever. Every major game we will have a review for that week. So we have a review for Dying Light 2, Sifu, Ali World, Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, and Destiny 2 the Witch Queen. So all on the lookout for that. I'm going to be way too busy.
Heck yeah.
Too busy.
Awesome. Well,
very tired.
Pong 2, Kate, lovely wife. Where can everybody find you? I know we just kind of talked and ranted a lot about some stuff you probably don't have as much interest in.
I didn't. I just tuned it out because I had no idea what you were talking about.
That's fine. Where can everybody find? Hey, talk about your TikTok and YouTube crumble cookies and all that stuff.
You can find me and my cookies on Twitter at KhAoThEory. The link to my TikTok is there. And yeah, I have some other exciting things coming up, but it's kind of on the DL for now. So just follow me.
On the way.
Follow. I already have that. Follow me and so you can keep up.
You can do dating.
Poor
profile. Has
Mav.
something to do with that.
Poor Mav. Got his wife looking at Zillow.
Find her on ashleymadison.com.
Poor Mav.
What, baby?
I said, poor you.
Yeah. I got it lucky, guys. What can I say?
Right.
I just have to learn
You're
to share.
definitely
I guess.
punching, Mav. And that was for the that.
All I want to do is browse Zillow. That's all.
Yeah. Extraordinary Lupa, AssassinLupa. I hope you had a fun time tonight. And where can everybody find you?
I did, and that's down to Mr. Badbit Joe. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been awesome.
Thank you.
Always love podcasting with you. You're a great
Likewise.
laugh. And to chat, you're all awesome. Thank you very much for joining in. It's been great fun. And you can find me here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UK time, and AssassinLupa on Twitter and Xbox Live. Catch you all gaming, guys.
Yeah, heck yeah. I just saw Vic said, whatever happened to the Carpet Muncher YouTube channel? I forgot.
I don't think that could go on YouTube.
I thought
Yeah,
I
that was the
forgot
only
I
was
don't think
conversation.
so.
Yeah.
That's on her OnlyFans.
Mellow Fellow.
Oh, and sorry also to
Oh,
PTK for coming on as well. Sorry.
Yeah. Shout out to PTK. Psychonauts, Mellow Fellow from Outer Space. Where can everybody find you, sir?
Yeah, first I want to say thanks for the chat for coming out. Joe, it's always awesome to have you on here, brother.
Tip of the cap.
And PTK, for that little bit of time you were with us, it was awesome to have you on, brother. So,
Absolutely.
and then you guys can find me everywhere on social medias, Psychonauts8, and you can find me Wednesdays 7:00 on Fun Pop, where we talk about comics and movies and all good shit. And
Dirt scooters.
And fucking dirt Vespas. Yeah.
Those are like, that's so weird, man. Like
Dude.
Cyberpunk, like Star Wars. It's
I don't know. They were too clean. All right. Okay.
Yeah, it was too clean.
Quick rant. The fucking shit in Boba Fett. It's too clean. All right.
Yes, I agree.
It's too clean.
They're on a desert planet. It looks like you just went through a car wash.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, how these kids have all these nice clothes and stuff when there's fucking like.
Oh, the go gadget gang.
Yeah, the gadget gang.
Yeah, I don't like them.
No, I'm not keen.
I don't like. Here's the thing. I don't like the cyberpunk. Like, I get where they're trying. I get what the idea.
Yeah.
But like, to see cyberpunk in Star Wars is too off-putting. The goddamn
at least
razor scooters are riding.
Planet
other than case. It looks like you're in a Power Wheels. It's like,
yeah, it's too colorful in a no. Just keep the girl because she's very good on the eyes.
She's very
and
sexy.
The rest of them, oh my god, she's
so sexy.
She could literally like shoot her rocket hand into my face and I'd thank her.
They just look into her eyes and then you just go melty.
Her eyes. Oh, I thought you said something else.
Eyes?
Okay. No, I changed what I was going to say, Mav, to be
look into her brown eye.
As I am also a woman.
Her third eye?
Yeah, her brown eye. I mean, third eye. Sorry.
You're obsessed with brown eyes, you are, Psycho.
Jeez. The last episode of Boba Fett was absolutely fantastic, guys. Oh my god. Oh wow.
Because it didn't have nothing to do with Boba Fett, which is crazy. And I love Boba Fett. So I don't get it.
I just don't like the way they nerfed him.
I just enjoyed it for
they nerfed. They cut his balls off. Right? That's what happened.
Same.
Yeah, they did.
Got all the Sarlacc pit, and then he's like, I have no testicles.
Honestly,
I Star Wars. Everybody.
I love the Tusken Raiders stuff. I like that stuff. Super rad.
That. Oh, I cried when he came back and they was all dead. I was like breaking my little heart.
Mm-hmm.
The whole when he's at Jabba's palace, like the fuck is going on with this?
Yeah,
evil Chewbacca.
I'm just enjoying it.
Oh my god, I love him. He's so dope. Oh, why am I forgetting his name?
Chrysanthemum.
Black Chrysanthemum. Oh my god,
like
awesome, dope.
Why can't he just be part of fucking his guards? Like fucking hire him already and go kick some fucking ass.
Well, he did. I mean, he did. But I don't like.
He kicked Boba Fett's ass.
I mean, he's a goddamn Wookiee.
They need to go and fight the fucking spice traders and go get that shit back.
Yeah.
No, we don't fight. Boba Fett, we don't fight no more.
Yeah, fuck that bullshit.
But like he did in the Mando, and he was.
But then my favorite character in Star Wars was freaking. What's that?
Yeah,
the one with the long ears going down.
Oh, Jar
Jar Binks.
Jar Jar, yeah, I love Jar Jar. Me thinks, me thinking that bomb coming over here gonna hurt me.
Look at
see, like, okay, Boba Fett on the Mandalorian, fucking awesome. That's what we thought we were gonna get. I was like,
a bounty hunter.
And then I'm like, what the fuck?
Again, I still like it, but I know I should be loving it. Because I understand the vibe they're trying to go for. They're really trying to go for a Western, right? But the thing with the Western is like it succeeds because it is, a movie. And they're trying to expand that into this series, and it doesn't work as well as it does on Mando. And I think Mando has better growth as a character. I think if they strung this out to 2 seasons where he's with the Tuskens and you're seeing that character development, and then the Tuskens fall, and then you can have a real reason as to why he truly hates the Pikes and wants to see them gone, and that's why he wants to become the daimyo of Tatooine. Look at me, I'm a showrunner, right? But we have this.
To be fair.
And Bryce Dallas Howard, give her a Star Wars. She's deserved it. She's made some of the best Star Wars.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it so far, except for the cyberpunk. It just doesn't fit. I don't mind the characters.
Right.
I just don't think the aesthetic.
Everyone's poor.
The aesthetic.
And then here's these
you all look into it too
shiny,
much.
brand new.
The aesthetic doesn't fit.
Misa,
It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
No, it does not. It clashes.
So
And you can find me here every Friday.
yeah. Right.
I've lost the fucking plot now.
Jasper.
Misa, over here, Psychonauts. Misa.
Jasper the realist, the lore master, the Star Trek enthusiast, all that stuff. Where can people find you?
Jasper_gaming_ on Twitter, Jasper Gaming on YouTube. The links to everyone in this panel just about is in the description below. So if you're looking for someone, just go in the description, click that link, and find me Wednesdays on Fun Pop and Fridays on Xbox Ultimate.
Sir, there's more subscribers as well on your channel.
I just love it. I've just gone through here and mine's the only name with fuck all next to it.
You got your Twitter handle? I mean, what else am I supposed to put? I don't know.
Nothing, because I don't do it. It's just so funny.
I think I put under Pong Soul's name. I think I put the link to Living Split Screen. I think that's there. Y'all have a.
Yes, you have.
Okay, cool. Pong-
www.misayyoutube.com.
Oh, jeez.
Living split screen, me say.
Was on
Dude,
something
you
tonight.
got the Jar Jar down. I
Happy
think.
wants it. Fuck.
I
Oh,
just
jeez.
love Jar Jar. He made me laugh so much. I mean, fuck Star Wars. I couldn't give a shit about all of that. I watch it because my husband does, and I enjoy watching it cuddled up to him. But
Lupa.
Jar Jar Binks just freaking cracks me up.
Yeah.
Misa.
Pong, it does not probably share your same enthusiasm for Jar Jar. But
Probably
Pong
not.
Soul,
Should die. All right.
Encyclopedia of Gaming dating back to the very first game created, Pong Soul. Now, Pong also, you guys heard it. Pong said he wants everything to go back to the way it was back when there was only Pong, and that's it, right?
Yep.
So that's on him. If that happens, and we just get
He wants
And
to be
pinball
isolated
machines.
on
Yeah.
the planet.
then that's gonna happen. It's his
He's
fault.
a loner.
But Pong, where can everybody find your love for NFTs and
Jar
all
Jar.
that stuff? And Jar Jar.
I don't have a love for NFTs. Now, let's not get it twisted. Let's not get
Yeah.
it twisted.
He
Man.
just said that
The,
to
the
us.
biggest the biggest NFT advocate that I know, Pong Soul. Where can people find you?
Nice one, Matt.
Again,
You redeemed
$5,000. You
yourself
can have
from
an
that
NFT of the my face on Caitlin's screen there. Look, first of all, fam, it was amazing. Glad that everybody that could be here was here tonight. Lady, we miss you. 3-bit. Look, brother.
I
Just
know what
admit
he's
it.
doing.
You don't
He's
like
not
us
gonna
anymore.
drop the girlfriend for us, Paul.
You don't like us anymore. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Just tell us. Just come in our DMs. Be honest. Be open. It's cool. Don't worry about it, 3-bit. No, we love you, brother. Miss you. But Joe, always amazing to have you, sir.
Likewise,
hanging
sir.
out with you. Love you, brother. So for sure. And PTK, sorry you couldn't stick around, but I will see you tomorrow night, sir, on the Shop Podcast. So it was awesome to have you on here as well. But otherwise, Pong Soul, Xbox and Twitter. And then if you didn't catch PM in the PM last night, where Mav and I had our first ever guest on out of the blue, Colt Eastwood, go check that out. It was a great show. We had a great time last night. Kind of different format from what Mav and I usually do, but it was awesome. So go check it out there. Obviously, Colt, extremely knowledgeable and just an awesome member of this community. So a really great time with him last night. Go check that out. Tomorrow morning, Living Split Screen, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. Set those alarms now so you don't forget. Brother from another Steel Rain and I are going to be talking all this news that has been going on this week. You know, we got a lot to say. 3+ hours tomorrow morning. We are going to start your weekend off the right way, live, raw, and uncut. So be there. Living Split Screen. Split Screen is all one word. And if you didn't get enough of myself and Steel in the morning, he's going to be on with us on the Shop Podcast tomorrow night. So you get 2 doses of Living Split Screen. That's right. We're going to see if we can get PTK to go 4 hours tomorrow. It's going to be interesting.
Oh man.
But jump in the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central Time. And then Tuesday, Xbox Factor Podcast, Mr. Boomstick, Double Barrel Gaming. You know the drill there. All things Xbox, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Mav, Archimedes, not even going to say 3-bit, but 3-bit, whatever. And then, of course, Mr. Joanna Dark is there as well now, and I will be there. So please join us over there. And then next Thursday, back again, obviously, PM in the PM. We're going to have a lot to talk about, but this is the golden age of gaming, people. The best time ever to be a gamer. So please get out there and enjoy it. Again, Spooky, awesome to see you in chat tonight, brother. Awesome to see everybody in chat tonight. Thank you all for coming out and supporting us. We love you. Nothing but respect for each and every single one of you. Play what you love what you play, and I'm going to talk to you all real soon.
Me, sir, he went over the 5 minutes, sir.
Oh, jeez. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Chat, you guys were awesome tonight. Again, remember, this is on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all of those places. We are growing finally on audio a little bit as well. I got to get some tips from Joe. I got to start buying reviews like he does, doing giveaways.
And Mav, where can everybody
Gotta get
find
one of those
you?
desks.
Yeah, we got to get into
Exactly.
those desks, the Spotify execs, like, hey, what can I do? No. Here tonight on Xbox Ultimate Podcast. Like I said, Wednesdays is Fun Pop. Thursdays, we got PM in the PM. And Saturdays, tomorrow, FSP, Fun Speculation Podcast with Game and Key, and also Fuzzy Belvedere. Have some fun discussions there. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And Monday, we do a little thing called Tidbits. It's a lot of fun. We just look at the games coming ahead. Tuesdays, Xbox Factor with Boom and the amazing panel, including Pong Soul there. And, awesome panel there. Archimedes and Mr. Joanna Dark. Great times. So, everybody, have a good one. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Bye-bye.
Catch you
Bye,
all
everybody.
gaming, guys.
Anything